You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. 'Cause you don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I never stay. I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free and I love to be free. To live my life the way I want. To say and do whatever I please. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. I don't tell you what to say. Don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young and I love to be young.
Buy one favorite like a quarter pounder and get another for just $1. Right now at McDonald's.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Righteous Brothers. I know you've been asked this maybe 1,000 times, but I've got to ask it. How did you get the name Righteous Brothers?
Well, in the beginning, when we started singing together, we thought of using the combination of Hatfield and Medley, and
Oh, that's the two names.
Hatfield, that's Medley, the skinny one. And all we came up with was, well, we had the Hatleys and the Medfields. And
Come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs, and voices never shared, but no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fools say that you do not know. Silence
Hey guys, how's everyone doing tonight? I want to say something before we get started with other stuff. I want to talk about something. This whole idea that after 4 years, Cindy Watts has suddenly changed the entire story of what happened the day of the nut meltdown, we're supposed to believe was just some sort of, expanded memory or something? Really? I'm getting comments posted on the channel, 4 so far, that are pretty much identical to each other, but with different profile names posting them, singing the tune. Oh, well, gee, maybe it all started with the nap. Oh, well, gee, maybe after time. No. I spoke with Cindy directly for hours and hours and hours. Nowhere ever in any of those conversations did she ever say anything about a nap. So why would it be that for hour after hour after hour of talking about her daughter-in-law's nut meltdown, why would it be that 4 years later, all of a sudden, the story's changing? Well, let's think about that. Why would the story be changing? My hunch is it might mean that somebody else is in charge of the story. So then you have to ask yourself, what benefit could there be to changing the story? Well, think about what Star Mama said. I think Star Mama's gut feeling on this whole mess is spot on. If they come in 4 years later and suddenly Cindy's telling a whole different story, then what does that do to Cindy's words? I'll give you the answer. Changing the story 4 years later discredits her, right? It's a credibility issue. If she's saying one story for 4 years and then all of a sudden the story changes, then it can very easily serve to discredit Cindy. Who would want to discredit Cindy? I think we all have a pretty good guess who may want to discredit Cindy. Which makes me wonder, who does Dave really work for? I mean, think about it. And again, Dave's a great guy. He's great with techno stuff, I'll tell you that. He's been very helpful to our channel with the techno stuff. So Dave has a lot of good stuff about him, okay? He's a good guy. But is he a good YouTuber? I don't know. I do know that he told us he went to the United States, but then it sounds to me like later he admitted he didn't. So I guess that means he's a good liar, right? And think about this. Remember the whole song and dance about the tarps over the headstones? What happened when that was going on? Were there more fundraisers going on? Were there more claims of abuse and harassment? So the bottom line, just my opinion, no offense meant, Dave. I mean, not as a person, you know me. I love the people. I don't like their actions. Is Dave working for somebody who would benefit by discrediting Cindy Watts? So, hey, Star Mama, how you doing?
I'm hanging in.
What do you think? Do you think Dave is working, what's it called, controlled opposition?
I think it's very possible because I don't understand it for 4 years why everything would just abruptly change. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. And something that happened like that, I don't believe that you're going to have a breakdown or just forget about it. That's something that you just don't forget about, those kind of things to me. You just wouldn't forget. And it's in the discovery. I mean, it's not just with Cindy and the phone call and what you've been told. It's in the discovery. It's been stated, you know.
I
So
think it's important to remember too that Dave is not somebody who has been discussing the case of Christopher Watts for that long.
right.
So he maybe didn't have the benefit of hearing the conversation for what he missed a couple of years at least, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because it'll only be, I think, 2 years in December that he's actually been on here. Yes. Yep. So that's a little odd too. Um,
And why would Ronnie and Cindy be inviting somebody from Australia into their home?
because I don't think they're the ones making the decisions. I want to be honest about it. I don't
I
think
agree with
that,
you. I agree
I
with
think
you.
somebody else is their spokesperson and has control over everything, the decisions that are made on who they listen to, where they go, and all that, who they talk to, why they talk to them. And believe
I
me,
agree with you.
after all this time, there's got to be a motive behind this stuff. There just has to be because it doesn't make sense.
Well,
It
I'll
just
tell you
doesn't.
this. This is something Dave wouldn't know because he wasn't around back then.
Hmm.
But you know how everyone likes to say that they're cutting down Cindy Watts because of the interview she gave?
Hmm.
That is a lie. Okay? That is a lie. It's the same way they say they're attacking me because they don't like my opinion. That is a lie.
Yeah.
They were attacking me before I had ever even heard of this case. I was on vacation with my son.
Hmm.
I hadn't even heard of the stupid case.
Because you write true crime books, you write true crime essays, you look into
Exactly.
things that don't make sense. You were a threat from the very beginning, and they wanted to stop
Exactly.
that before it even
They
got
had to
started.
target a few, right? They had to target a few people who they thought might be smart to target.
Hmm.
And then they had to do the ooh, boo, hoo. She's saying mean things. They were saying I was saying mean things before they even knew my opinion because I didn't even have an opinion yet on the case.
Right.
So
Hmm.
that is the truth, okay? That is the truth.
Hmm.
They're not attacking me because of anything about my opinion. They're attacking me because they had to set up some kind of scam, scapegoat, bullshit routine so that they could go boo hoo, okay?
Yeah, to
The
and
same
reflect away from themselves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the same can be said for Cindy Watts because once again, Dave wasn't around when all this was going on, so he wouldn't, be privy to this. Maybe his writers are, maybe whoever writes his stuff for him, maybe, have looked at old videos and maybe learned a thing or two, whatever. But Dave hasn't been around that long. So Dave wouldn't
So,
know.
is gift of time in the chat saying that she approves of what he's doing, or he or she approves of what's going on, or I mean, no, Dave is not doing what you're saying, and then she put, why not? He's done a lot with the case, and then down here, that's nice. We've heard it before. Scumbag attackers, blah blah blah. Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. You want to come up on the panel, gift of time? You're sounding pretty
No, it
brilliant.
sounds like you're jealous of Dave. That's funny.
Oh, that's
Really?
a good one.
Hmm.
So
Maybe
anyway,
let Mia come up too because she's got a lot of stuff facts that back exactly what we've been saying.
okay. And gift of time, you should come on up because if you're going to be so vocal, you should hop right up on the panel. Okay, so I want to
Hmm.
finish what I'm saying about the Cindy Watts thing.
Okay.
People like to say, and they've been saying it for almost 4 years. They've been saying that the only reason anyone's saying anything negative about Cindy Watts is because she gave
Hmm.
that interview. Okay, that is a lie because they were already bashing her, harassing her, attacking her long before she gave that interview. And I'll tell you something else. Guess what?
A scumbag attacker channel creator is who talked Cindy Watts into giving the interview, even telling her what to say. Now, my question is, how did that scumbag attacker channel creator be in direct connection with Cindy Watts? Because Cindy Watts didn't call her. Cindy Watts had never heard of her before. Now, people like to say, well,
gift of time. Why are you here if you're going to attack Mia and everybody else? Why are you even here? Go back over to his channel and say, I don't get you. I don't understand what your point is.
well, gift
When
of
she's
time.
not asleep? Okay. Let's see.
Gift of time. I put the link in again.
Wow.
Okay. Special K says, hey, Bobs.
That's more like it.
Okay, so this is what I want to say. The whole thing about Cindy Watts is only being attacked, blah, blah, blah. Cindy Watts didn't just arbitrarily call up a reporter and say, hi, I want to do an interview. She was being led around by a scumbag attacker channel creator, okay? Who put her in contact with that scumbag attacker channel creator? That's the $1 million question. Because by that time, the scumbag attackers were already attacking Cindy Watts. But you know what? It was really obvious that the scumbags attacking her were totally from left field because Cindy Watts hadn't done anything wrong. And immediately, Cindy Watts was getting strong support on social media because the attacks against her were so obviously out of line. So then what happened? The scumbag attacker, channel creator, was somehow hooked up with Cindy Watts, talked her into doing an interview, and then from that point forward, the scumbag attackers say that the only reason they're attacking her is because of that interview. This is how they operate, okay? But back up to that little square. Who connected Cindy Watts with that scumbag attacker channel creator? Because I'll tell you something. As far as I can tell, I am the only channel creator who did not contact Cindy Watts. Cindy Watts and Ronnie Watts contacted me with chocolate covered strawberries. Okay?
Yeah.
They contacted me. And I have a hunch that they have a certain offspring who did not want them contacting me.
That makes more sense.
Remember when Mark, what's his face, the investigator, found a lawyer? And then when all of a sudden they had the offer of a pro bono experienced licensed lawyer with experience in appellate cases offering to help their son within 24 hours. It was a certain offspring, actually. Hey, Mia, how you doing? Against her were so obviously.
Hey, girl.
Out of line.
Oh,
So
you
then what happened?
you got to cut your YouTube off.
So it was a certain offspring who contacted, we're told by KK, that a certain offspring contacted her and said, hey, we've got to do it now. Right. And what did Ronnie and Cindy do to Mark, the investigator? They said, no, thank you. Yeah. Mark was spending a lot of his time talking with Ronnie almost on a daily basis. I was spending a lot of my time talking to Cindy almost on a daily basis. 3 or 4 weeks before that happened, Ronnie and Cindy both on speakerphone. That's something the Watts like to do, is everybody talks on the phone. At the same time, they asked me to also search for a lawyer for their son. So they had both Mark and me searching for a lawyer for their son. And then poof, they were offered a pro bono lawyer, experienced in appellate cases, fully licensed, ready to roll. And that's when a certain offspring contacted KK and said, let's do it. And they totally said no thank you to the pro bono offer. Okay? I think that this Dave character, I think he is absolutely in connection with a certain offspring
Mm.
who is allowing her mother's credibility to be destroyed.
Mhm.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Hey,
Well,
Mia.
I'm with you on that.
Hi, Miss Mensa. Hi, Star Mama.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm
Hi,
hanging
everybody.
in.
Yeah, I asked Paula how awake she was because I'm like, it's after midnight here. And she's like, I'm awake. I'm like, oh, that girl
Yeah,
has
I got a lot of sleep too, and I've been
Star Mother's got good
out of
energy.
Yeah, she does.
Does anyone know, Mia, do you know who Gift of Time is?
No, but I read the comments.
Gift of Time is too afraid to get up on the panel. I invited
Yeah.
her to hop up on the panel, but she's too afraid to.
They used to be in here some, and then they hang around over there with him a lot. So, I mean, I don't know if he knows they come over here. We don't go over there and attack his chat like that. I don't know why she's over here doing
No,
this. I don't get it.
no. I mean, even if you don't agree on something, I mean, we should be able to debate in a reasonable manner. I mean,
Well,
that's
if
all.
any of us are thinking that Dave might be one of the scumbag attackers, then to send somebody like Gift of Time in here to pull this shit, pretty
Mhm.
much, if we don't already believe it, pretty much would make us, lean in that direction. Because
Yes.
only
Yeah.
scumbag attackers act like that.
We don't know anything, she said. Well, I don't think you know anything. I've been hot and heavy on this case for 4 years. Get up
Well,
here and challenge me. I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
mean, that's what
go.
I said. I mean, we all know the case. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not saying Dave doesn't, you know.
I'll say it.
He doesn't know everything, that's for sure. He
No,
doesn't even
I mean, not
not been here but almost 2
I
years. We've been here
don't
4.
know everything out, you know. But what I do know, I have discrepancies with some of his theories or whatever. And
Okay, so is
this
she. She said
is
she's been here too, 4 years. Okay, if you've been here the whole time, then get up here and say something. Why run your mouth in the chat if you can't back it up? That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
She's afraid, or he's afraid, whatever it is.
Mhm.
What
I
is it
mean,
that
this is
you
just crazy. Crazy.
right? I mean, I'm not. That's childish. It just really is. You either know the case or you don't. And if you can't debate, what is that? The resort in this pettiness.
Mhm.
And they leave comments like that in my chat, and we don't do that.
Right.
Well, Gift of Time spells your, YOUR.
Mhm.
Not
So
like
there you have it. There you have it. That's their calling card.
Mhm. But I mean, we don't go over there and bother him. We
No,
don't do
this
that.
is Miss Mensa's chat. I mean, this is her live stream. So why would you
Why are you
come in here?
disrespecting her? You know?
Well,
Exactly.
I think maybe Gift of Time doesn't want anybody discussing the nap fiasco because you know what? It's bullshit. There's
Mhm.
no way Cindy Watts can, for 4 years, hold one story and then all of a sudden they come out with a totally different story. It doesn't work that way. But it makes me
Mhm.
wonder if her daughter maybe spoke with Dave and whoever Dave works with or for and
They
decided that
degrade a person. Now she's
maybe
saying all we do is disgrade a person, black them. You never listen.
I
So
didn't
why
say
don't
any.
you go
I
out
said,
the door? Leave the
no,
same
I
door
said
you come in,
nothing
please.
mean.
Spare us. We don't want you
Nobody
here.
said anything mean.
Yeah, you're trying to just distract and upset and get
Yeah,
keep
I'm
us
not getting
talking.
upset. You know.
I'm
I
not
think
either, but I just don't like them being in here pulling this shit. It's
No,
old. I'm tired of it.
exactly. I mean, it's disrespectful to
Hmm.
but
Miss.
I think what's important is for us to see how they operate. And I think for a little while we'll let Gift of Time make a fool of themselves
Yeah.
because
Okay.
if you look at it, quote, all you do is degrade a person block them. You never listen. I mean,
Block
really,
them? I'll block them.
really,
Okay.
we're sitting here we're actually putting the link in what, 4 times already, saying, come on up on the panel. Come on
Yeah.
up on the panel. So
I
really,
mean, right. So if somebody's disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
they're the terms of service. They tell you to block that person. That's the terms of service that you signed up for.
Yeah, they're invited to come up anytime they want to, but I
and
mean, coming in
for
here and
Dave,
saying we need to get a hold of Cindy and ask her. No,
That's
it's already been told. She's told the same thing for 4 years. I want
yeah,
to hear the stuff out of her mouth, not his.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Carolyn Zaga, welcome everyone.
so here's another one. It's probably gift of time and an alt. I'm not sure why you're picking on her. She doesn't have to be challenged to face 3 aggressive women due to her
I'm not
feelings.
aggressive. I'm not aggressive at all.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is,
not aggressive. Yeah.
let's turn it around and get a good laugh here. Seriously, I don't know what time it is wherever these yahoos live, but this is how they want to spend their time, is to go into a live chat on a channel that they're obviously either, hopping on board or recruited or whatever to go harass.
Yeah.
This is how they spend their time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how sad is that? So come on, Justin Case and Gift of Time. Why don't you prove me wrong? Why don't you both come up on the panel at the same time so we know it's not just
Yeah.
one?
Isn't it amazing? It's just like Special Case
I
said.
mean,
But Dave did
it's not
play.
fair doing.
He
It's
did
not
play
fair doing that to
Moses.
Dave. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm sure he's not telling you to come over here and do that. Like, why are you trying to cause problems for your favorite creator?
But they need to keep in mind too, he's the one that played. He asked Menza for the phone conversation to
Yeah,
play on
I
his
didn't think
channel.
he had a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Why did he do that? You know?
I'm tired of people always trying to create problems for creators.
Yeah.
I
Hilarious. Yeah, you're hilarious. We love it.
Gift of Time, at least we know how to spell paranoid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Some
and we know how to
implication.
spell hilarious too. Gift of
Yeah.
Time, you're really proving you're a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Hilar. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to the public school or did you go to a private school? Gift of Time.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go to school? Hmm.
He's far from my favorite creator, but why pick on someone who is?
Well,
Boo-hoo.
not picking on him. We're not picking on him. We're just challenging why the stories are different after 4 years. And he's not brought any proof. He's just saying she said so. We've had proof
mean,
in the discovery.
that's not
Yeah.
actually how is that his fault if she's saying it, right? So why
Hmm.
are you defending him
Yeah.
if he's not doing anything wrong? I
Well,
mean,
I
people are
think
so
that
problem.
Dave is certainly not gaining any credibility with Gift of Time and Just in Case.
Hmm.
I think they're actually harming Dave's credibility right now.
Yeah.
But I think it was important to let them go ahead and spin their bullshit for at least a few minutes so people
Because
can
I don't
actually.
want people talking for me like that, I mean, that's just not right. I mean,
I think it's good to actually see it play out, though, especially the misspelling. How hilarious is that? They just can't spell.
That's why I keep going after them so they expose themselves. And the more I go after them, the more they come. That shows exactly that's what they want. They want a confrontation.
right. And that's why I always tell people, like, in my chat, do not put any creators' names because it becomes a problem and it's not fair to the creator. It's not fair to the subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and they're just trying to provide a diversion or a distraction or whatever, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're just really, they're using the same tactics that they've used for 4 years. So it's pretty ineffective because the 3 of us are still up on a panel talking about the case.
Yeah.
So you would think they would save their energy and, I don't know, go make dinner for their kids or something.
I mean, To me, I think Miss Smith
Learn how to
has
spell, maybe.
something, not blaming anybody, but why would Cindy change her story? I think we're all thinking that whether we say it or not, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Maybe Dave's thinking it too, like I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but you shouldn't either, right? Gift of time.
Well, I don't have the opinion. I don't, my opinion is that he doesn't know the case at all.
Hmm.
My opinion is that he has somebody writing his words for him because he, like that whole ping thing he's got going on, it makes no sense.
No.
It just
Yeah.
makes no sense. He sat there one time saying how he knew that that was the only morning that that phone pinged. Well, how does he know that? Does he have every single phone record, you
Hmm.
know, forever? He
Right.
has
And those pings aren't that accurate. I was just reading. They could be 45 miles away from the area.
exactly,
They really
exactly.
are.
There's an expert. Do you know the case of Heather Elvis, the one with Sydney and what's her name? I can't remember his wife's name. The young gal was a waitress and she was having an affair with an older married guy, and
Uh,
she ended up pregnant. And he and his wife evidently, I don't know, they're in prison. I don't know exactly what they did, what they were convicted of, but she disappeared, was never seen again. During that trial for either the husband or Moore, the last name was Moore, Moorer,
okay.
Sydney and Tammy Moore. During one of their trials, there was an expert on the stand for a long time talking all about the ping, the phone pings.
Mhm.
Hmm.
If any of you in chat believe the stuff that Dave's reading to you about phone pings, you need to look up the case of Heather Elvis
Yep.
and watch the expert who testified at either Tammy or Sydney Moore's trials. Okay.
Hmm.
They explain it exactly. If that cell tower is busy, it's going to go right off to the next cell tower. And if that one's busy, it's going to go right to the next cell tower. So for Dave and whoever's writing his scripts for him to continue to promote the fallacy that they know for sure anything about any ping, well, it's bullshit.
Right. I mean, her phone went in to celebrate. It wasn't just looking what was on the phone. They looked at exactly where she was. And they did get a search warrant. They had to obtain a search warrant for it. In fact, I have it in my notes.
So there's just no
So
way. I mean, he
it's
goes
not.
on and on about the ping, and the
Hmm.
fact that they're even talking about MK was already cleared in
Oh, yeah.
2000.
Exactly.
That's what they go back to every time they run out of everything else. They go back to her. It never fails.
Exactly.
Ugh.
That's absurd. And you have to ask yourself, why would she jeopardize her life, her freedom, her career over someone's what over a guy that she's only been with for 6 really? I mean,
Exactly.
this guy's Sean for like 8 months. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a new relationship. She's
Well,
not
and
the
let's be real. Christopher Watts was not a catch.
mm,
He was not a catch.
no.
If anyone knew of the fundraiser they had in order to buy pillows for his daughters, I don't think that's the catch of the day, right? I don't think that's
No.
you just no. And with all the social media stuff, I think they may have had a clue already that if they were to spend very much time with Christopher Watts, that there would be an ex-wife in the wings who might be kind of challenged, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's not a catch. And come on, his legs were really puny short.
Yeah. They really were.
He looked like awkward. He looked like kind of like a smurf almost.
Yeah. I mean, she was enjoying his company, and that's just getting to know somebody. But that doesn't mean, geez, yeah, would that be enough to murder? No,
Actually, I
And
absolutely.
I
think he looks
also,
better. He looks better since he's been in prison than he did before.
Yeah,
You know?
well, also by the time they even started going off on their little excursions, That marriage was already over.
Yeah,
Oh, he even said that the last 6 years. That was the whole
Exactly.
time of his marriage, but it was over then. And you know how we know this? It's in Discovery. And also Mark and Nicole Atkinson. So you have one of Shanann's friends, their mom's really, but you have one of Chris's friends from when he was a young little boy. And the one that's in the military saying Chris acted this way shortly after they were married, where he was standoffish and he was not talking to Shannon, ignoring her. And the only difference is she got pregnant and he stayed. But he was ready, I think, to get that marriage annulled.
I think you're right. I think that after the wedding, I think he figured out that his family was right.
Yep.
And by that time, 4 months later, she was already pregnant. And then he figures he's going to get out of it again after Bella come, and boom, she was pregnant with Cece. So yeah,
Yeah, when Bella was just 10 months old.
put a
Yeah.
hook, line, and sinker into the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was long over. I mean, he wasn't happy. I mean, he admits that. They were together 8 years, married 6. And the last 6 years, he wasn't happy.
Well, and even when she went to North Carolina, people want to say, "Oh, it wasn't a. They weren't separated. She didn't know anything about it." Yeah, she did, because she was telling people there she was looking forward to being single again and that she was going to get a divorce. Really, that's what she said.
And months before, even 3 months before she went, remember how
Yeah,
she talked to that lawyer and said she was
yeah,
getting divorced?
Yeah, that's true.
yes.
Yeah, that marriage was long over. I think a lot of people knew it, even if they may not be saying it now. And I think that I agree. I think when she was pregnant with Bella, I think he was trying to figure out how on earth he could make it through, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, it just really seems to. Yeah, he was about ready to get it annulled, and then she got pregnant.
Yep.
And we've had people saying, "Well, we're bashing her because of her. We're trying to say she was older, and we didn't like her hair, and we didn't like her wrinkles, we didn't like her makeup, we didn't like the way she dressed." That's not it at all. We were just comparing the way she dressed and the way she acted did not seem in the era of time that she claimed of her age. It just didn't make sense. That's the
That's
thing
a
we were
really good
pointing
point.
out, you know?
That's a really good point. I don't think anyone's saying we don't like it, although the eyebrows were kind of interesting. But
Oh yeah, the eyebrows. I mean, until they showed her how to do it. I mean, yeah, everybody, that was the only thing.
I think that's a really good point. I don't think she was 34 years old.
Nope.
I think she was 40 plus.
And she even joked about it herself. uh, with CW. I mean, oh well, I guess it was a joke. Maybe it wasn't a joke. I don't know. But
When she had her
she told about
parents,
her laugh lines and stuff, and how she was wrinkling and everything. I mean, she didn't hide it. I mean, it just didn't seem right for a woman her age to have those kind of wrinkles. It just didn't to me. That's just
exactly.
my
I
opinion.
think she was 40 plus for sure. I do.
Yeah. And I think that was the reason. I think
She didn't look 25
childbearing. I think her childbearing time was about over too.
when she built the house, and she was so pretty. But
Mm,
when I look at that, it's like I always think she looks about 35 there. Honestly,
yeah.
no offense to her, she still looked pretty. It's just usually at 25, you tend to look more like an 18-year-old,
Right.
19. Like
Mhm.
Right.
people
Well,
I've
I
known.
think she was having babies. I think she was having babies.
I wonder who this one is that says, "What's up, everyone?" I've never seen that person
Yeah, I've
here.
never seen that one
Interesting
either.
name. Um,
Now, why would it make a difference if she was older? Well,
Because
she
people
could have
wouldn't want to adopt the babies.
passed a
yeah,
longer past if you have
Well, people
years.
wouldn't want to adopt the babies if she was having babies, like we talked before, a possible surrogate.
yeah.
Yeah,
She she wouldn't have anyone wanting her to do, yeah, because that's just how it works. It's nothing against
Right.
however
And
old
I'm
anyone is.
sorry, that picture in April is very suspicious looking. I didn't make that up. That's the wrong
Well,
picture she
I
put.
know. I
That
mean,
was the
I
way
was
she
just
looked,
shocked when
you
you
know?
saw it. Yeah, she
Yeah.
looked. Okay, and why it's significant? It's in the discovery.
Yeah.
You know, data. The ultrasound's data 404. Well,
Yep.
now that's the discovery that they changed on Netflix to 8/8. But then there's an ultrasound June 20th, and that ultrasound is it's like the very first one. So that June came before the April. Things don't add up there. So did she lose that pregnancy in April and then got pregnant again?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there is that you. I mean, what else could you say? I mean, those are the dates. That's in discovery. That's a legal document.
Oh boy.
But,
They
oh,
don't miss a chance coming in here and starting stuff, do
hey,
they?
well,
Oh my God.
are you
Really.
guys mad or something?
We must
Who's
have we've hit a sore spot again, I'm telling you.
you know? And moving day, I think, was another sore spot.
Yeah,
And
they don't like
the
moving
other
day.
thing, you know what else? I kept saying there is no way, without a doubt, I have it proven. She never arrived home at 1:48. She just couldn't have.
So where did she go, do you think?
That's what's so weird. They should have checked Nicole Atkinson's. She was one of the last people with her. I don't know if she even came back. Her purse may have, her phone could have, and a suitcase. But did Shanann come back? I don't know. Because above all, I'm not worried about lights outside. But when you have a 148 router that does not Vivint doesn't connect to that router at 148, and you have to look at Pacific time at 23:48, August 12th. It's not there. And a computer expert of 30 years says he doesn't know why it's not there, but it's not. That means nobody walks to that door at 23:48, which is 1:48 of August 13th.
So do you
So
think she may have come home the night before?
Well, we don't have any airport
I don't
footage
know. And here's
video.
something else.
That's a
Yeah,
problem, you know?
Vivint captures Utah backing out of the driveway at 2:01
Right?
a.m. So Nate shows a white Dodge Dart, but we don't know, is that her car? I don't know.
We don't know who's driving it either. Can't see.
Yeah. And that car, by the Live 360 app, it continues onto Firestone at 2:10 a.m. Well, if that car remains at the house till after 10 a.m. in the morning, she's there at 12:10, punching in the code. Chris gets the alert. He's watching her in real time from Survey 10:29.
Whoa.
Car doesn't come till 12:20.
What time did she get there? 12:10?
12:10.
Well, remember the neighbor?
Yeah. I mean, 12:10 the next day p.m. So, I mean, did she stay there all night?
Remember Betty next door? She said that the gray truck was there until noon.
That's
The
good.
gray truck left at noon.
Wow. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's very
I
interesting.
think the red truck is interesting too, myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special
That's-
K loves it when I go, whoa.
Hmm.
I think what they love more is when I go, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love the Yahoo thing.
I mean, it's just these people are that want to come in here. They're going on what somebody's telling them. They have no idea to go back and look at it. This isn't just your
No,
words and
I mean,
Cindy's words. It's in the discovery. It was
yeah,
SW's words. It was senior's words in
serious
the
word.
discovery. Yeah. It was all over the nuts and the ice cream. It had nothing to do with the damn
Yeah.
nut. Nothing was
So
said.
yeah. I
She
mean, this is what Shanann said. It's on the text messages. She
Mhm.
texted them in real time. You know,
So
to her
does anybody wonder why Dave had to get Jamie's permission?
I wondered about that because he said he was there for 2 days and couldn't do anything until he talked to her. And he didn't talk to her the first 2 days he was there. And after that, he had permission to record him. I thought that was a bit odd. Permission to record him?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that
Okay.
Ronnie and Cindy are old enough to say yes or no, right?
I would think so. I'd hate for one of my kids to try to,
Yeah.
with my mental state right now, to try to tell me what I can do and not do. I can just
Yeah.
assure you it wouldn't go over well.
No.
Mm.
A psychologist would have to make that decision, and you know, no, you obviously they couldn't.
And
And
what's the scoop with Dave talking about Jamie's husband and Jamie's children? What
I
is all
don't
that
know.
about? I guess if he's going to be all about, remember what he said something about Jamie's husband and having guns and everything?
Yeah.
Like gun ownership 101, it's nobody's business. So they've
Mhm.
got some yahoo from Australia talking about their gun collection. That is not exactly a good idea, anybody.
Nah.
no,
And did you guys get the impression like they're talking as if the kids, as if Christopher Watt's sister and brother in law got married and had babies and lived happily ever after?
Mhm.
Because wasn't it, I thought, wasn't Christopher Watt's sister a single mom for a long time?
Yep.
And then she remarried, right?
Yep.
But if you listen to Dave, but remember, Dave wasn't
Guys,
around.
remember, that's one thing that uh, SR and Cindy talked about. Remember at when they went to the house and he was out
Exactly.
there talking. Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. So even that is, are they trying to kind of slant that story too now? Is that going to be a changed narrative now? And I'm telling you, if they have Dave, whoever gave him permission, evidently Christopher Watt's sister gave him permission. If they have Dave coming up with these different narratives, then guess what the motive would be for Dave to be coming up with different narratives. It's just like the Scumbag Attacker channel creator who talked Cindy into doing that interview.
Mhm.
There's something brewing, and it's not a good thing if you ask me. And here's the other thing for any of you in chat who are fans of old Davo, are you okay that he lied to you? Is that all right with you that he lied to you? Not just for a day, not just for 2 days.
I tried to give the dude breaks, and I just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I've tried. I have really, to God, I've tried. I have, and I can't.
Well, I do find his personality easy to talk to. I think he's funny, and I think he was helpful with that techno stuff. And
yeah,
I
you
appreciate
have a
that.
great personality, sure. Mhm.
Yeah. But I also, at the same time, I don't think it's Dave himself. I think he's simply
Mhm.
a two-bit actor
But what
who's
was his motive behind all that? Was it just to get that phone interview from you, so he could turn around and pull this crap? I mean, I don't know.
no,
It
I
seems
think
like it.
no, I think
Mhm.
Dave actually is just a two-bit actor who's playing a role, who's reading the scripts that he's being told to read, and I think he's doing what he's supposed to do. And I do. I don't think he knows the case. I think if Dave were to hop up on the panel and actually have a discussion about the case and actually discuss it, not do his little, glaring at the camera
Um,
and trying to act all tough and whatever, or sitting up there saying we're not going to bash anybody, and then he says whatever he wants.
but he'll tell you he has the original discovery, and I don't know how he can have the original discovery myself. I don't
Nobody has
understand
it.
that. No.
Well, he told us that he went to the United States too.
Yeah.
He even took a picture of himself sitting in an airplane. So I think that I think and that's my question. If you're a fan of Dave, anyone in chat, feel free to speak up. We won't bite your head off. If you're a fan of Dave's, then are you okay that you got lied to for a long time?
Yeah.
And it isn't just that you got lied to, but he caused a lot of harm with the whole thing of people going, look at this, how the family's getting harassed, and he didn't even come to the United States or anything. So that whole thing, I don't know, was there any fundraiser for that or not?
Oh, they give him money. They give him money. And Mia had a lady come there, remember, and was bitching about
Yeah,
the money that she gave him
they
to
said
take
I'm
them out
sure he
for
said
dinner. Yeah,
we were picking on her.
yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, this woman was recording us, the three of us. No,
Yeah.
that's not acceptable. It's illegal.
And yeah, she went and she said, "Oh, she gave me money to take the Watts out for a nice dinner, and he only give her back a tiny bit of it." She's bitching. What does she want us to do about it? That's her problem. She was the one that's
Well,
supporting him
Yeah.
and everybody 3 weeks ago.
but that doesn't even make sense because
No,
if she
It doesn't make
pays him money to take them out for dinner, why is she expecting change?
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
guess she found out he didn't take him out yet. Was what it was. He didn't take him out like he said. So
I mean, why is she mentioning that? Like,
Right.
and,
It seems kind of weird. But
and
he did.
I think she was sent in. I think she was recording it, and I think she was sent there because first she didn't know how to get in there, and then it
and
kept echoing, and
and
then she
somebody
was
was telling
making
her
fun of
something.
Menza, and the next
Yeah,
thing you know, she didn't know how to leave the studio. Really? No,
right.
don't go there.
And so people thought we were tough on her, but the one lady did apologize.
Yes.
Which lady? That Colleen lady?
Now, who was the one? I could go back and look on the
You mean
message.
the one that apologized to me?
Um, she apologized after somebody set it up for us. Like, no, we weren't picking on that woman, Colleen, whatever. You know, she's the one who was recording
Yeah.
and yeah, and said Miss Spence's name in a really funny way. And she also, she also likes and supports. I won't say their name. I don't even remember their name, but it's a channel who is who harassed Miss Benson.
Yeah.
Not Dave. This has nothing to do with Dave.
Right,
It's somebody
right.
else.
And then she acted like she didn't know who we were talking about. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I forgot. I just remember that now. She was promoting that other person
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was.
weeks ago.
Hi, Ham Radio says, I just don't care for men who scream at random women on the internet for no reason.
I don't like
That
the
kind
certain words he
of
calls
scares
the
me
women
too.
either. He has
I
bad
mean,
language at
I
women too. I don't
yeah,
like it.
no. If you have a problem with somebody, it's like, can you like talk to them
Do you
and not?
guys know how? Do you guys know how Dave started his channel? He did a couple of live chats, and I hopped up on the first couple
Okay.
live chats, and so did that one lady. I don't know her name on here, but she has kind of a southern accent.
Oh,
She's the one who didn't know that the car was a leased vehicle in Christopher Watt's name, but she supposedly knew all about the case.
Right.
But the way he got started, he did a couple of live chats, and I hopped up there and I was friendly to him. He was brand new, supposedly, right? And
Mhm.
there were that one lady with a southern accent, and I don't know who else. And he was friendly. He kept going outside to have a cigarette while we were talking. But then the second time I think it was, he made a really cruddy, creepy remark. It was really cruddy, creepy, yicky. And I went, ew, right? I thought,
Mhm.
did he just say that?
hmm.
Ew, did say that. And like, it's like, ooh, I didn't like that because before that, he seemed like a friendly person.
Yeah.
And then somebody named Tia, supposedly, I think Tia was one of the scumbag attackers, right?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm
She
not sure.
was on his channel as a guest, not like maybe.
Well, she came along like
Or,
on his third one, on
mhm.
his third live chat, and she was all about bashing me. He put a video up. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, she was bashing me bad.
Oh
And
yeah.
here's the thing. I think it was Dave's third video that he did. Might have been fourth, but I think it was his third. The title was something like Miss Mensa's a bitch.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All you need to know about Dave is that Dave evidently thinks it's okay to call people who he welcomed on his panel, who he spoke to, who he laughed with,
Mm-hmm.
a bitch.
He
Okay.
did
Think he
it
has
to me
people up there
too.
on his panel
He did
anymore.
it to me. He did it to Lana. I mean, the videos are out there. They don't lie. They don't go away.
I
Right.
don't
And
think he's putting anybody up on his panel now. I
there
don't think
was,
anybody wants to
oh, and
go up.
True Tam. True Tam was one
Oh
too. So
yeah.
it's 4 women.
Yep.
And
And
so,
when he did that, he and that Tia pulled a bunch of shit out of thin air because
it's rude.
I, you
It's,
guys know I am conflict
Mrs.
averse.
Ben, you're funny.
I'm conflict averse to these assholes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna have to mute. She's killing me on here. Mrs. Ben is funny. I'm telling you.
I know. She,
I'm just clicking out of here. Um.
oh,
So if this Tia was sent in to get Dave to say and do whatever, okay, whatever. He's still the person who is speaking about women in such a bad way. Okay.
Oh
And
my
right.
and then what happened? He's
Well,
attacking
yeah.
me. Okay. He's
Mhm.
attacking me, and then all of a sudden they have this big deal that he and I are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
I
we weren't.
remember that. I remember.
But let me tell you, that's exactly how he built his channel. He
Right.
created he created the bullshit and he ran with it, and that was his content. That's
Right.
how he created his channel, was to be picking on a woman in her 60s. Like, real
Yeah.
impressive, Dave. Real
Well,
impressive, Dave.
well, me too, for exposing the truth one night. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. Yeah, I really did, because when somebody tells me they're a friend, they have your back, I usually tend to believe that, and that just hurt.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I did hear about all the
Okay.
pictures he was sending out to everybody. That kind of offended me.
He never, he's never done that to me. I will never,
He's never done
I
that to you at all.
never did anything like that to me.
And I kind of wonder how much of that he does as part of his whole image or whatever. Like, I think they try to do like a role, okay? I'm not so sure he's as bad as some of that stuff, because look at what happened. Who got content? You know, he got to do his tears to the camera routine.
Yeah.
AD got a bunch of content. You
Right.
know, all the AD's writers had something to write about besides our videos. You know,
Right.
I think that I think that they're all playing roles, and I think that's how they try to make money.
Hmm.
Because if a man is gonna, on his third video,
Hmm.
especially that Tia was right there leading him on a leash, you know,
Hmm.
if that's how he's gonna get his start in this whole Chris Watts case, then that pretty much told me right off the bat. And then after he does this whole thing about how we have these issues, bullshit. He wanted to have an issue, whether it was created or real or whatever, and that gave him content. And then when I found out that he was going to be a grandpa,
Hmm.
that's when I said something along the lines of, well, hopefully him becoming a grandpa will make him nicer.
Hmm.
And that's when he actually became nicer, was when he had a grandbaby.
Yeah.
Anything before that, he was a total dip.
Hmm. Well, I think he needs to go back and do another review because I think he's kind of back to that stage again.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be nasty like that. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, he's welcome to hop up on the panel and discuss the case without his
I mean, I
scripts.
have nothing against. I don't hold on to grudges. I don't know why. I mean, it just kind of scares me a little bit. That's
Well,
all.
he could hop up here right now and talk, and I'd be happy to talk to him. But the thing about me is, I'll happily tell him that, and he did apologize to me. I want to say that. And he
That's
and I have treated each other fine ever since. But this whole routine with the nap and the
Yeah,
whole thing about lying about going to the United States,
yeah.
all of it. If they all want to think it's funny the way we're getting attacked and harassed and abused, it isn't funny. If they're going to be putting tarps on the stones and Dave's going to be pretending he's flying here and stuff, this is no, 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 no. This is not okay. We're done with the BS. Take
right.
your little plays and go to a different play. Go to a different sandbox. Go dig your dirt in a different sandbox.
Right.
Enough.
Yeah.
Move on to a different case. Come on, Dave. If you're listening, you don't even know the case of Christopher
And
Watts.
I'm not mad. Like, maybe somebody said something to him. Like, there are people that try to cause problems for creators. So, I mean, that could have been it too, when he got mad. I don't
Well,
know.
that Tia is exactly because he was fine before Tia started saying
Yeah,
bullshit.
so, yeah, and she was on his panel before he got mad at me. So maybe that, I don't know, could have
But
been
I
that.
did have a lot of ladies come to me and say, after I kind of defended him in that one live we had that night because they were doxing his name, said, "Why are you defending somebody that made sexual advantages at us girls at a meet and greet? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? I didn't know about all that stuff."
Okay, tell me what you just said. Sexual advances at a meet and greet?
Yeah, they had some kind of meet and greet, and several of the girls said, "Well, you don't understand.
Yeah, I received
He was
emails
making sexual advances to us
too.
at some meet and greet they had or something." Yeah, and exposing himself, or I don't know. It was
But
just a
I
bunch of
never
stuff.
said anything. It's
Nope.
like,
I have
because
not heard anything
I,
about this.
I had never heard it either, but I've had
they
people come
never
to
have
me
done
and ask
anything, so
me,
I just don't go there. I
about
don't
it.
know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about this. So he had a meet and greet, and women were saying they were
Don't you
creeped out.
remember the one chat you had, and I had to leave because I had to go see who was doxing his last name. He was complaining about, well, some of those
Yeah,
girls in there, I guess some of them were his ex mods. They were complaining and talking about that in there. That's what I'm going on. I didn't know
is
about
that the
that
one?
stuff.
Is that the one
See,
I deleted?
that's the one you deleted.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to delete the doxing, so I deleted the whole video. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But
But
were they?
I was,
I don't know if they were
they were going back and
participating
forth in
or
there for
not. So
45 minutes about stuff,
yeah, I'm very fair. I don't know what happened, so
I
I
don't
don't.
either.
He's never done that to me.
If there's anyone in the chat who was at that meet and greet who felt creepy, feel free to hop up and tell us about it. But
Yeah.
I don't know about how I feel about that whole thing because I actually think he's playing a role, and I think that his role is to be some kind of creep, creepy.
Maybe.
I don't think he
Because the
actually.
one was really concerned.
Maybe somebody tried to blackmail him, set him up like that. I don't know.
She
Yeah,
said the one girl said he was flying his,
I'll
he
give him
said
the
he was
benefit
going to
of the
fly his
doubt.
drone over. He was flying.
Nobody produced anything.
I know, but the one girl said he was flying his drone over her place where she lived and
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
look in these windows and stuff. I don't know.
That seems bizarre, don't you think?
It does, but I'm just telling you
right.
what they said.
Well,
I
and
know. She sent me an email too, like that. Yeah.
his story on it was that he just said something about how he was going to go do his drone that day, and it was like 100-mile radius or something.
Hmm.
But no, if you think about it, just think of this. What if Dave is a failed actor? What if he
Oh,
always wanted to be an actor? And so he hops on YouTube and he's like, oh, I'm going to sign up for this role. And he signs up for a role where they promise him that they'll have people giving him scripts. They promise him they'll have people helping him create videos. Does anyone really believe that he's creating those videos? I don't know. I know he's techno. I know that's good, but come on.
oh, he'll tell you that. He'll tell you he's great tech.
And
Mhm.
if
But you
he's
would think it'd be frightening for somebody to go to the USA by themselves from Australia. You know,
Well, and I question why he would lie about it. Why he would? I mean, come on. In this whole idea that he's heading into the prosecutor's office because he's Mr. Ballsy, what? Why is he wasting U.S. taxpayers' dollars by taking up the time of any receptionist at a prosecutor's office?
Yeah.
right?
Why?
So he
Why would
probably
he
has
be?
her with him. You would
Well, what
think.
was his purpose in wanting to go there and talk to anybody anyway? They're not going to talk to him about anything. They don't know him an explanation about nothing. You know,
Why would they talk to him?
he's lucky. If he did that, he's damn lucky he didn't end up in jail. I'm telling you. If he did it, he's lucky. All I can
Yeah, he
say.
was using some pretty foul language.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he thinks that
Yeah.
walking into the prosecutor's office earns him any brownie points
Mm.
because he's wasting everybody's time and energy.
And he's really setting a good example of his country too, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, and you know, who is he? Like,
Yeah.
oh hi, I'm a YouTuber. You know,
Yeah. I'm a YouTuber from Australia, and I come over here to investigate the water
Well,
case.
and
Okay.
I would have been kind of, if I was him, I would have been scared driving around that whole neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
in the early morning hours because people get scared because there's been a lot of people looking at that house
Mm-hmm.
because of Netflix.
Yeah.
So I would have been afraid like cops are gonna stop, you know.
here's a good point that Diane just made. He's proven he's a liar. When he said he was in the US and then they posted the thing from that channel that gives him material to read, when all of that was going on, he looked right in the camera, didn't he? And he said he was in the United States. So, okay,
Well,
lighter.
they showed a picture of his house shoes, him in his pajamas, his floor that he films out of, and his dog laying right there by him. And said it was impossible for him to be uh, in the USA when he said he was there because it was the same floor, same rug. His dog was there and all this stuff. Yeah, he kind of
So
gave
even
himself
then
away.
he lied again, right? Because even then he was saying that yes, he was in the US.
He said he was the first time, but there's no proof of that. I haven't seen anything.
I think Dave should hop up on the panel and explain to us what the hell's going on.
I don't think he's going to. You asked him to do that last week too, and he didn't want to do that. I mean,
I mean, I'm not gonna yell at him.
he
Yeah,
was just he
that's
was
not.
just wanting to tell us about the nap stuff, remember, and that it was a difference. And since then, he's not even been around to say anything. If you remember, he got up
Marge
there
says,
right
how do
away
you
and told you
know?
that.
Marge says, how do you know he wasn't in the States? Because he said so.
Yeah, there's something in the chat. They said do not bring up the June
Yeah,
incident.
they did. Yeah, and it's also been
What?
said you can't mention anything about SW or the R's, or you will be blocked. Yeah. Hmm. But he downgraded SW right before he said that, so I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You know that we seen it, Mia. We listened to it. Yeah. He said something bad about her, and the insurance said, "Don't say anything bad about her or the family, or you'll be blocked."
Well, did he say like there was first it was a naps that's what she got mad at, and then the
Yeah.
ice cream filling?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I
So
don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second.
He said that Dylan was in there with the two girls in the bedroom on the bed, and that she got mad because she wanted the girls to take a nap because she wanted her me time. And he went off on a rant about her and saying, "Oh, this and that, and this and that, because you didn't want. Why would you care if those cousins got to know each other? That blah blah nap, blankety blank blank nap was more important than them getting to know their cousins. I mean, that's just what it was about. That was it.
right.
Mhm.
So
And
it sure
I
seems to me that Cindy Watts would have mentioned it at some point.
Yeah, I don't
right.
understand that.
Well, now wouldn't Dave have he listened? I mean, it was nice of you to let him use your interview, and he played
Mhm.
it. Wouldn't he have said to her in the new interview, well, you know, I listened to an interview previously, and you said about, that she came charging at you over the ice cream. Did he bring that up at all?
No, and that's the thing. When I brought it up to him, when he was up on this panel, I said, that's not at all what the story was. So why is the story changing? And then I said, I guess I can be really generous and think, well, gee, maybe she didn't remember it or something. I'll have to wait and hear it or something like that. He acted like he didn't even know about that phone interview. So think about that. I get an
Right.
email out of the blue
Yeah.
from old Davo, and he asked for permission, and I said something along the lines of, "Okay, as long as you're nice." And so yeah, it was the extent of my permission. Okay, but as long as you're nice about it, or something like that. I don't know what I said. And so he
Okay.
went ahead and used it. But if you think about it, if I'm right, and he's just nothing but a two-bit actor, if that's the case, then he's not going to be engaged with even listening to the interview. He's going to just read his script.
Right.
He's not going to care about the interview. And that's the thing that I would like to challenge Dave to do is hop up on the panel and let's actually discuss the case. Because
Yeah.
if Dave were to hop up on the panel, just my prediction, if he were to hop up on the panel and we talked about the case, I think we'd all find out really fast that he doesn't know the case.
Mhm.
At least Justin, come on, react. Justin
Come on
Lee,
now. Yeah.
come on. At least he admits he
Funny.
doesn't know the case. Like
Yeah.
he totally admits it.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think Dave knows less about the case than than Justin by osmosis. I think Dave knows less about the case than most of the channel creators who are talking about the case. I think he reads the scripts. And another one who doesn't know diddle about the case, AD. He does not know the case.
Right.
All he knows, and
Yeah.
he is my online crush, so whatever. All he knows is how to read his scripts very well.
Mhm.
But if he were to actually discuss the case, we would easily see he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
I really think he, and like if anything he does say that is correct, he's gone around and took it from what he's listened to all of us talking about. That's apparent, and he's been doing that for a very long time, especially with you, MM and Mia. He's been going around taking y'all's information for months.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked about that one.
Mhm.
Do you guys really think Justin is authentic? Really? See, I think Justin is a friend of Christopher Watt's brother-in-law.
I know you think that, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well,
I
has he
think
left? Is he gone for a while or something? I haven't seen him doing any live. Is he or not? I don't
I don't know.
know. Mm-mm.
Hot Ham Radio's laughing. I wonder why. No, I'm not kidding, Hot Ham. I do. I think Justin, come on, Lee Reacts is a friend of Christopher Watt's brother-in-law.
Mhm. The rabbit hole, yeah. Well, I don't know. I just can't believe that it's gone way off the deep end on this stuff. It's just, and the thing about it is, if you try to go back to what's in the discovery and the phone conversation you had with her, people come in and attack you saying, "No, she just forgot," or "No, that's not right," or this or
Oh,
that. But
that reminds
I
me.
have
Yeah,
nothing to back that. We have nothing to back that. That's not what happened. You know.
that
Hmm.
reminds me. If I can find that, I'll look here. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, because I keep getting these same old comments posted. Let me see here.
No, Hot Ham's just saying it was just funny in a true seeming way. She doesn't know any of them. It's just the way that people, it's just bizarre the way that people go around and do stuff, you know? Yeah.
Okay, here's what Rachel put about Cindy. She said she has thought about things, and all was on her mind was nuts and razor blades. Then she's thought about what happened before that, and it clicked. It was nap time first. All of what was muddled is falling into place. Really? Okay. Really?
Mm. So she just conveniently had a block to it being about the nap, but she remembered everything else. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, like Hot Ham said, we've got to use our thinking hat. I use my
Yeah,
hat. I go by
this
facts,
is what common sense
and what
comes in.
I've listened to be true, by what I've seen in the Discovery, what I've listened to in interviews, phone
Yeah.
calls, and all that. And yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Right. I mean, she's it's she went charging after her because of the
Mhm.
so-called cross-contamination of the vanilla ice cream.
Mhm.
Well, you made a really
So
good point the other day, Mia, when you said, why would she say you attempted to murder my daughter? What, over a nap? No.
Exactly. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
That would not be the trigger. If there's a trigger, it still comes down to
Tanya, he's not been on this for 3 years. He'll tell you himself it'll be 2 years in December when he come on the case. He's not been on it for 3 years.
no,
I can assure
no.
you that. He has
He-
not.
And let's be real. Let's be real. He spent the first year being a drama channel.
Yep.
He either danced between drama, fighting with people, being a jerk, or he was all about NK and pings and crap. It
Yeah.
wasn't until he became a grandfather that he started acting more serious.
Like Nurse Dee Dee says, SW's checks alone prove it was about the ice cream, and that's true.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
yeah,
the point that Mia made.
yeah,
Exactly. I'm glad somebody else is realizing that, because
yeah.
that's the point we've been
I
trying
mean,
to make, you know?
right. I mean, okay, when you look at all the people that have said this, you have, well, it came right from SW, um, her father in his interview, NA,
Mhm.
Christine Meacham, who was going, I'm sorry to say her name, but she's going to be a witness. So that's important, that discovery.
Mhm.
Let's see who else, and all the other Thrive girls. They all said the same thing.
Yep.
So they were all discrediting Cindy right away. It was, oh, she's crazy. She gave her she was trying to kill the little girl. That's like,
She didn't go to the
and then,
wedding. She never gave her a
yeah,
chance. She was hypercritical of her daughter-in-law. All,
Mhm.
all she wanted to do was have Cindy Watts love her, and Cindy Watts was hypercritical of baloney. You
Mhm.
know, Cindy Watts and her daughter-in-law were very close, and I think that Cindy Watts was probably the woman who Christopher Watts' wife was closest to. I believe it, that they were closest, that Cindy Watts and her daughter in law shared, even though Cindy Watts freaked out about the way she gave the girls Benadryl and Tylenol, Cindy
mhm,
Watts freaked out about her weird temper. Cindy Watts freaked out about how her son was being abused and treated like shit and isolated.
Mhm.
Cindy Watts freaked out about a lot of stuff, but she bit her tongue.
Right.
She walked on eggshells. She acquiesced to her daughter in law's temper tantrums, mood swings, mental illness, whatever, fill in the blank. Cindy Watts was the woman who her daughter
Yep.
in law sat down with on the patio and enjoyed probably some sweet tea on a hot summer night on July 7th. And her daughter in law shared intimate secrets with her that she had not told her in the last 8 years.
Mhm.
She shared serious, very serious, terrible secrets with Cindy. And Cindy said, "Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you. You're so strong. How'd you make it through that? Blah, blah, blah." And her daughter in law said, "Does that mean you love me?"
wow,
Mhm.
And Cindy said, "Of course I love you."
Mhm.
And Cindy told me she was shocked by her daughter in law's response. "Does that mean you love me?" I'm sorry, but if you're a 40 something year old claiming to be 34, you asking that question, of your mother-in-law who has shown you unconditional love for 8 years, there's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah. Well, I
And
only
there's
have one
something,
thing to say about the NK thing. I think people need to be very careful when they keep bringing her name up, being involved in this, because some psycho out here might get the wrong idea and go after that woman. And then what are you all going to do if you cause this woman's demise
oh,
and
I
you
wouldn't
find out
worry about
she
that
didn't
at
do
all.
nothing, you
I
know?
wouldn't worry about that at all, Paula, because I have a feeling that NK could kick any of those psychos' butts.
Well, I do too, but I just worry about the stuff they do to her on a daily basis.
I
I think
think
it's
I
disgusting.
think if any channel creator is talking about NK, then I think that they're just showing us that they're not real.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they're just following a script.
But I just hate to see because she can have a baby or be married by now. We don't know that. Really, we don't.
Her sister might, or Danielle, her friend.
Hmm.
Holly said that SW was jealous of Jamie and even Cindy in a way. I think she wanted to have the
Relationship.
relationship
Yeah,
that Cindy and Jamie had, and I think she didn't know how.
exactly.
I think
Holly
she was
has so
jealous
many talk
of her.
about NK, but if they're talking about NK Hot Ham, I don't think they're real. I think they're just reading scripts.
Mhm.
They should be talking about
They
moving
don't
back.
have discovery if they're saying NK. They just don't.
Mhm.
Because she was at work that day. I mean, they cleared her.
She was cleared in 2018. So if anyone's talking about NK, they're I think they're just reading the scripts.
Yep.
I agree, Holly. I think Cindy Watts was very much a mother figure for her,
Mhm.
and I think she trusted her. I think
Yep.
she emulated her behavior even. You know that she wanted to work at the dealership where Christopher Watts worked when they first moved to Colorado.
Yep. I don't remember that.
Did you guys know that Ronnie and Cindy both worked at the dealership?
I didn't know that. Really?
No.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and guess what else? You know, you guys do know that Christopher Watt's wife was not a brunette, right?
Yes, I know she's got blonde
Yeah.
hair. Yeah, I know that.
Well, I would call it more like a mousy something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Trying
she
to be nice.
she she dyed her hair black,
Yep.
and other people dyed their hair black too for the wedding.
Hmm.
And you know who had black hair? Cindy Watts. You
Hmm.
know, I think there's a lot going on to where Christopher Watts' wife was really copying Cindy Watts.
Hmm.
You know, Cindy Watts had a little dog who had some kind of a back injury or something. And a
Hmm.
week later, Christopher Watts' wife said Dieter had the same back condition,
Right.
spine condition.
Well, even those
Yeah.
that one the Lindstroms even said that she would see something or copycat something or hear something, then next thing you knew she had the same thing a few days later. Or the kids did, or you know, somebody in her family did, or yeah, the same thing. I mean, he explained all that.
Exactly, exactly, Nurse Dee Dee. Exactly. Sorry, Star Mama.
That's okay. Mm. Yep.
I think Nurse Dee Dee just nailed it.
What?
This is what you were saying the other day, Star Mama. Nurse Dee Dee says, so think about this, just my opinion. If
Hmm.
she told MM the information about that serious conversation,
Yep. Yep.
which
I
she
know that.
did, and it
Hmm.
was a very serious conversation,
Yep.
do you think that there's a possibility that maybe the Ruse want CW's mom discredited? So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
that's really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought that
Mhm.
myself. And you. Yeah,
oh,
both of you. Yeah.
that's brilliant. That really
And
is.
she if they discredit Cindy, they discredit you. Yep.
Well, I'll take it a step further. They've been trying, they meaning the scumbag attackers, and whoever has hired them or organized them or
Yeah,
recruited them or begged them to jump on board, they have been trying to discredit Cindy from day one.
right.
Because guess what? That serious conversation took place on July 7th. Does anyone know the significance of that date?
And that's,
It was
well,
one night, it was the evening before the nut meltdown.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Guess who Christopher Watt's wife was talking with on the phone
Her mom.
immediately preceding the nut meltdown. Immediately preceding
Her
the nut
mother.
meltdown. Her mother.
I know. Yeah.
What if she was on the phone saying, well, I went ahead and told Cindy about blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Why'd you do that? Yeah.
I wonder if the reenactment from old Davo, Australia, I wonder if the reenactment is going to have Christopher Watt's wife talking on the phone with her mother.
I don't know. Good question. Is it going to have some of the facts or all the facts or none of the facts? That's what I want to know.
Exactly. And I think it'd be important, too, for us to remember that in Christopher Watt's father-in-law's interview, I believe it was,
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about hot dogs.
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
he's talking about his daughter going in and out with hot dogs.
Yeah.
And in another relative's police interview,
Mm-hmm.
in a letter I think to the police, didn't she say the girls were allergic to peanuts?
Yes.
And wasn't it? Oh well, gee, she said whatever to Cece. I mean, in any of those accounts of what took place, is anyone mentioning a nap?
Nope.
No.
No, they're talking about the kids going outside and inside and back outside and hot dogs on the grill and whatever. And then they're talking about Jamie supposedly putting a big bowl of nuts on the counter that wasn't there before. Who's talking? Out of all those people, who's talking about a nap? Nobody. So,
Mm-hmm.
Cindy Watts, if you're listening to this, although Cindy did share with me that her daughter told her she couldn't be on social media, but Cindy Watts, if you're hearing this video, I hope you are, maybe you should rethink why it would be that anybody would be encouraging you to change your story 4 years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, listen,
And what is the deal about these football jerseys he got? Why would you be so proud? I mean, if you're talking about a man you think possibly killed somebody, why would you want to wear their football jerseys? I don't get that. I wouldn't want them.
I think it's creepy. I think
It
it's
is creepy. It is creepy.
I think it's juvenile of him to be wearing a jersey, and I think it's just weird. Exactly, Marge. I think maybe.
I think it's weird that they offered him to him, if they did.
Yeah, it's very creepy. Plus, I got news for you guys. It is so immature for them to be running around. Even the pictures of Christopher Watts and his wife and the kids and stuff. Like, come on. Really? I mean, I don't mind sports at all. And I think it's great if people want to dress goofy on Super Bowl Sunday or something.
Yeah.
But come on. How many jerseys do we see in all those pictures? Grow up, people. Jerseys are for high school kids. Okay?
Yeah.
Ugh, you know?
You know how he was just talking about the girls possibly being allergic to peanuts that was talked about? Well, why is it if you go over and watch her video about the fry bite she was making, why did CW say Bella loves the peanut butter and chocolate chips in these? Really?
Yeah, there you go.
Very plain. I listened to it 4 times and that's what he said. Bella loves the peanut butter and the chocolate chips in these.
Yeah. So if they're allergic to peanuts and tree nuts, evidently, because one grandmother said tree nuts, one grandmother said peanuts, if they're allergic to both, and you want to know something, I would dare say that if a child is truly allergic to anything, that the one person besides the child's parents would be grandma, who would know damn well what the child's allergic to. That's how grandmas are. It's just
Yeah.
a fact of life.
Mhm.
So why is it that the grandmothers are conflicting in what the kids were allergic to, especially if they're deathly allergic and severely anaphylactic, right?
Yeah.
I don't think those girls were allergic to anything. I don't think they had asthma. I don't think they had pneumonia all the time. I think that Christopher Watt's wife was lying repeatedly
Yeah.
when she was saying how they were in the emergency room. She did a video saying, "Oh yeah, both girls were in the emergency room last night. Oh, I'm so perfect and I'm such a super mom." Ooh. And remember, could
She couldn't remember what one of them had though.
exactly.
Yeah.
She said one of them had viral
Pneumonia.
or
Yeah, viral
bronchial
pneumonia.
pneumonia or
Yeah.
something. I'm sorry, but if you're a stay-at-home mom, bullshit. She was I think, a supervised person who needed heavy-duty supervision. But if you're going to be advertising yourself as being a stay-at-home mom, you probably shouldn't be bragging about the fact that you have 2 kids ending up in the emergency room all the time.
Mhm.
Because pretty much if your kid gets pneumonia, and I'm not trying to like make a big judgment on anyone whose kid has had pneumonia, but if you've got a couple of kids with pneumonia, even just one kid with pneumonia, when you're a stay-at-home mom, why didn't you call the pediatrician that morning?
Right.
Right. Why are you waiting till it gets up bad?
Yeah, and why is she giving those lemon meringue flavored bite those bars to let Cece eat them when it said right on there they'd been exposed to tree nuts? I don't get that. I don't get it.
I get
It
it.
does
I don't
say I
think those
verified it. Yeah.
I don't think they were allergic to anything.
Well, that I get, but I don't. Why even say that when it says right on there? It's they're made in a factory that where tree nuts are, and also it has what is that other thing called? It has preservatives in them too. Remember, and she had to be
Well,
careful
and
about
those
that
bars
kind
are
of stuff.
not meant
Yeah.
for pediatric use either.
No.
Contention.
Mm-mm.
Those bars are meant for adults who want to, I don't know, bulk up or lose weight or something.
High
But
protein.
yeah, whatever, they're not meant. Those bars are meant for like an NK Chris Watts excursion to the mountains. Okay, they're not meant for a 3 and 4 year
Oh
old
God.
pretend
No.
like they like it. Exactly. They ate the chocolates at Cindy's house. Remember how she was lying to Cindy about the chocolate allergy? I do
Right.
not think those girls had any symptoms of familial Mediterranean fever.
No.
I do not believe those girls should have ever, not even one time ever. I don't think they should have ever had their temperatures taken using a rectal thermometer.
Remember the chocolate chip video? We never got to see the results of. They were both eating those little mini chocolate chips and that. And they were just regular Toll House chocolate chips.
Yeah,
So yeah, no
I think she
specialty
was
chocolate
lying
there.
every step of the way. And I think that if she's taken those kids into the emergency room,
Hmm.
I'm at the point,
Uh-oh.
I'm at the point where I think it's possible that she was lying about half the time about all those trips to the emergency room.
Right. And I just caught this in like someone's video. I don't know if it was like Geek Speaks. I mean, if I mention a creator, it's like nothing ever bad. But it was posted. I was watching this like last night, and she said, "There's a picture of Celeste, and she took her to the emergency room."
Uh-huh.
And then the next picture, still Celeste. She said, "Bella." She changed. I swear, I looked at it 2 times to make sure I heard it right.
Uh-huh.
Like she got the girls mixed up, who it was. It was really weird.
Well, that one time with the hospital the night before, Christopher Watts was carrying Cece. He had her up in the shower supposedly to do the steam thing. Sorry, but if your kids have asthma, you don't do the shower thing. That's a fallacy. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think it was a stage. I think it was a set stage. I think she was allowed out of her room and they said, yeah, okay, you can make a video. But I think Christopher Watts and somebody else was probably there. I
Mhm.
think we were supervising her. She could make her little videos that made her happy. And pretty much, I think Christopher Watts was taking care of the kids 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
She's
yeah, and in that one where she was making the cannolis and the pumpkin bars and all that, she said, I wish he was here today so he could do all the dishes. And I thought, oh boy, here we
I
go.
bet he always did all the dishes.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
did.
She would
Unless
wait till the weekend. Yeah,
there's-
doing.
I wonder because NA mowed the lawn and everything. I wonder if she did dishes too.
I'm sure she probably did about everything there was to do.
Yeah.
And when you say making cannolis, are you talking about when they bought those cups from Costco and she poured some pudding in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought that whole thing was so interesting how she tried to present herself as a Rachel Ray type.
Yeah.
She bought cups that were already made from Costco.
Hmm.
Well,
Probably
she
given a
said
credit card.
in that video too, my mama taught me how to cook and I know how to read recipes.
She called them directions.
Yeah, directions. Yeah.
But you would think she'd make her own cannoli dough.
Mhm.
Exactly. If you're going to buy the prepared cups from Costco and open up a can of prepared pudding and pour it into the cup,
Yeah.
that's like from a 3-year-old's nursery school cookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
But this whole thing about the emergency room thing, Christopher Watts was taking care of the kids. She's standing in the kitchen and she said, one of the kids had viral pneumonia, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then she said, and the other one, I don't know which, vice
You
versa,
just
whatever.
have to get over it.
She said, she couldn't remember what she had. Well, whatever it is, she'll just have to get through it.
Oh my goodness.
Your child is so ill that you've got to race the child to the
I mean,
emergency.
Bella looked really sick. She couldn't even. She put her arms around her mom like she looked bad. I
She
don't
was
think she
shivering.
touched him.
That's the video where little Bella was standing before her shivering. She didn't go near her, though. Did you notice?
Yeah.
She didn't go near her. She stood feet away from her and she said, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm
Oh,
cold. And she kept shivering. And her mother kept right on gabbing away about how she couldn't remember what illness they had.
she didn't make her chicken soup. Nothing.
Nothing.
Huh.
So was that a lie, maybe? Did they not go? And because here's the other thing you got to kind of think about. The people who claim there was an open CPS case at the time, they claimed that the incident was in December of 2016. Then look at all the changes that took place. That nurse was no longer a friend. The parents moved out. The girls were put in daycare full time. Okay. So to me, that whole storyline makes sense. It all fits. It makes sense. Okay.
It does.
It's
And wasn't she on some kind of a list where she couldn't get any kind of narcotics at the hospitals and stuff?
Well, that's
Oh,
what Cindy said. Cindy said that was the case in North Carolina, that she was known as a seeker. It's called a seeker, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But people who insist there was an open CPS case, they claim that Christopher Watt's wife was not allowed to take the children to the doctor.
I believe that.
So if there was a family plan in place that forbid her from being allowed to take the children to the doctor, what do you think she's going to want to be making videos about? Oh, we were at the doctor's. Oh, we were at the doctor's. The story is, what they claim is that she could go along, but another adult, an approved adult, had to be the ones actually taking the kids for medical care. So I betcha it's just kind of like her.
If she could take him to the doctor and do all that, then she could stay at home with him and he didn't have to take off work, right?
exactly. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
who
it
do
was
you
a lot of
know?
work. Yeah.
Who do you know where both parents go to the pediatrician all the time?
You can't. They can't afford it. You know,
Exactly.
stay home with your kids
Exactly.
being sick either.
He took off work, and even when Cece had the supposed reaction, which I don't think she did. I think her mother was shoving soap around her face or something to get her to throw up. I almost said puke. There, I said it. Um, when she gave Cece a sliver of a nut or whatever, I
Yeah.
think she called him and said, "Come home." I think he said he couldn't, and I think she tried to create some kind of rash around Cece and tried to make some kind of crisis.
Yeah.
Because
And I
if
think
Cece,
whoever was supposed to be watching her wasn't that day for some
well,
reason.
if Cece was supposed, well, see though, whoever was watching her would
Yeah.
not have been an approved person
Right.
for taking them. So maybe she sat there and got bored and
Yeah.
decided she wanted her little, toy dog to come home. And
Yeah.
and so then maybe she's like, "Oh, look at that. Cece has a nut reaction."
Hmm. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
does. Hmm.
But if she wasn't allowed to take the kids to the hospital or to the doctor by herself
Yeah.
Yep.
without an approved person, look at how many times she says she was with her dad,
I know. I
with
saw that. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
I had 3 kids. My dad never once went to the pediatrician. Never
Well,
once.
I want to know how many people on here ever seen her drive with their kids anyplace. I'm not talking about sitting in the driveway.
Well, the
Talking about
same woman
driving.
who was sitting in the driveway and poor little Bella was overheating with those
Yep.
cheeks. Her
Yep.
cheeks looked like what's it called? Theophylline. Her
Yes.
cheeks looked like she was overdosing on theophylline.
Yep.
And if those cheeks are that red and that hot, and she looked that much like she was suffering, then that car didn't have any air conditioning going
Yeah.
on.
Well,
Yeah.
that one in the one they come out and said, "Where's the keys? I don't have them. I'm just out here making a video."
Well.
Yeah. Hmm.
So if she can't drive the car, if she can't take the kids, to the doctor, to the hospital, or even fly on a plane, I guess, she can't take care of her
Yeah.
own kids while her mother-in-law's getting her hair done. Every single thing they told us about the family plan, it's all right there.
Hmm.
So what's going to stop her from making a stupid video to make it sound like the girls were both in the emergency room?
Yeah.
I don't think they were.
Hmm.
Maybe they couldn't wake up from their Benadryl and Tylenol overdose. I don't know. And I
That's
don't
a
know
good
that she
point.
overdosed them, but what if she did? Why would anyone let her anywhere near those children with Benadryl and Tylenol?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, here's a good one from Spacebound. If you need that much help to raise 2 kids, why are you having a third one?
Hmm.
Exactly.
Because she
Oh,
thought it would be a way to hang on to somebody, and it backfired. Nobody wanted her.
or maybe she was a baby factory. I don't know.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes sense too. I've always
Yeah. I
said that.
always heard she was going to Arizona because I'm like, well, she was sick. Why did she go to Arizona?
Yeah.
And I did hear because
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
he wasn't
What did
there.
you what did you say about how many pregnancies? Remember when we counted?
um,
Wasn't it 7?
Well,
I think counting the one she was supposedly pregnant with, 8. The best
Wow.
I can come up with. Yeah.
And what did you say, Star Mama, about how she said she knew a way to make money, but Chris wouldn't like it?
Oh, she was telling show one of her friends that they asked what she was going to do, and she said, "Well, I know how to get us out of this, but Chris isn't going to like it one bit." That's what she said. So, was it having another
So,
baby? I don't know.
so
Probably.
if she was somehow a surrogate, and I think I'm using the word surrogate very generously, if she
Hmm.
was some sort of a surrogate, then I don't know how much would that be, like 20, 25 grand?
Hmm.
So what happened to that money? Because their house wasn't that expensive, you guys.
No, not really. Mm-mm.
no.
Hey,
This is true.
Neil, what was that you told me about the house that it What was it the bank did, and then Well County bought it or something? What was that you said? What was that
Right,
thing you said?
and it was even on like Denver 7 with an expert. Okay, J.P. Morgan Chase issued the loan to Chris Watts. It was first in his name. They couldn't put down Shenan's on it. The mortgage was under Chris for $392,000. Well, okay, obviously he couldn't pay on it. He was in jail. So, Weld County paid J.P. Morgan Chase, took it out of foreclosure. But, Weld County would have to get paid back. I don't think they're just going to write that off.
Why
No,
on earth
Mel,
would any county get involved with
I
whether
don't
or
know.
not the house was foreclosed on by the bank? How
No,
did
Mel.
it go from being belonging to the bank? Because remember that first year they were holding an auction. That was the bank auctioning that house off. And then it got canceled the night before, remember?
Mhm.
And then the next year there was another auction scheduled and it got canceled. And then we started figuring out, wait a minute, why are the property taxes still in Christopher Watt's name?
Yeah.
How on earth can he be making property tax payments from prison? And who was making those payments for him? Why would the receipts still be in his name? And we were also questioning, how did the county become the owner and why?
Right, and there's a lawyer too associated with that.
Hmm.
Yep.
Mel,
Uh-oh. We lost Paula.
Well,
She started talking, and all of a sudden she disappeared.
it said something about a male.
Here she is.
I don't know what happened. I was talking to Mel. No, there's no pictures of the kids ever going to the zoo. I've never seen any. That day she's supposed to take them to the zoo. No.
Nope.
Mm-mm. And it's like with me and I, we found a video and we never noticed it before. Remember when she was chewing the pepperoni up and giving it to
Oh,
Cece
jeez.
and she didn't want it, and Bella
Yeah.
was
Oh, that was
wanting
disgusting.
something to eat and all that stuff. But all at once, Cece goes, "Hi, Pop Pop."
Yeah, because he was in
Yeah,
the refrigerator.
Yeah, and she
yeah.
rolled her eyes. Yeah,
I highly doubt she was ever alone with the girls.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was really shocked. I mean, right there proves it. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think
Mrs.
she was
Bumble
Hey,
conscious.
says,
Victoria.
So when I really thought there was a big possibility of moving day, it all made sense. People did not like that.
I think moving day makes sense all across the board. Everything, every
It
detail,
does. It honestly does.
Hmm.
especially the gray
Oh yeah,
van, the
a
gray,
truck.
the red pickup.
Yep.
I think
And
it
you made
totally
a good
makes sense.
point tonight about that.
Hmm.
That pickup was there till noon.
The red one or the gray one?
The gray one, because
Yeah.
Gray
Betty said,
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
neighbor Betty said it was the gray one there till noon.
Yeah, and I've heard people say that Betty is confused about things. No, she wasn't.
No,
yeah.
Betty's probably one of the best. Between the Lindstroms and Betty, I think you
Mhm.
get the truth.
And the only thing I know is what her own dad said. He said, "I can't lie. He was a great father and a great dad. I mean, a great husband and a great dad."
And I don't know anyone who would dispute that based on the videos that are up there because it's obvious he did everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you know what? Let's go ahead and bash him for a while. He
Mhm.
has two daughters who were murdered.
Mhm.
He needs to start telling the truth about what happened.
That's what
He
I
Mhm.
needs,
said.
he
Yep.
needs to love his daughters enough to honor their lives with the truth.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
knows damn well that there are a lot of people who know damn well that it is quite probable that he was telling the truth when he told the police investigators that he did not murder his children. And that whole idea that he snuck up behind his wife and she didn't budge and yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, he's not that good of a liar, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
it's your instinct to defend yourself anyway. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a stupid storyline.
Mhm.
You know, he needs to tell the truth about what happened. He
Mhm.
needs to do it for his mother. He needs to do it for his father. I don't care about whether or not he does it for his sister. But most of all, he needs to do it for Bella and Cece because they deserve for him to finally be a father for once. And I don't mean that he didn't do a lot as far as, getting him ready for bed and trying to keep him safe and everything, blah, blah, blah. But he could have done more to keep them safe, and he didn't. He failed his children.
Yep, he did.
He needs
Yeah.
to, instead of doing the self punishment boohoo martyr routine, he needs to stand firm and tell the truth about what the hell happened to those poor little girls.
Yeah.
Well, he's not the only one. Both sides of the family, to a point, failed, and so did all the friends because nobody stood up to her and did anything. They just didn't. I can kind of understand a little bit with the Watts because they were in a no-win situation, and I'm sure they would do anything they could so they could just be able to see their son and their grandkids. But the
If they
rest of
would
them
have
had
tried,
no excuse. No excuse.
if they would have tried to do anything, they would have never heard from them again.
Hmm.
Because remember, Christopher Watt's wife taught them a lesson before the wedding
I know.
that if they dared to cross her path with any kind of their bullshit, or they wouldn't even know what that would mean. They would just know that they had to worry that she would, the whole idea that the invitations weren't sent out, that there was cross contamination,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Mhm.
So they learned. I don't know, was it 4 months? I think, or maybe 6 months that they weren't able to hear anything at all from their son.
Right.
So I don't know if they really could have said anything, or else they would have just lost
Well, like
contact.
I said, to a point, they probably couldn't have, but there's no reason why her family and her friends couldn't have said something. They could have
Well,
done it. They could have done it anonymously. They do that all the time. People report people anonymously all the time.
well, but let's dig into that just a little bit. They were living there, okay,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
for something like 14 months or 16 months or something.
Right.
Mm.
So could it be that they were aware that there was whatever issue and problem, which I think
Yep.
obviously,
Oh yeah.
and then maybe they were actually living there as being part of her supervisor roster.
Right.
Maybe they made money off of supervising her.
But thing about it is, what did people expect when they weren't there, and they
Mhm.
didn't have anybody reliable to be there? I mean, he was dog tired all the time from working, coming straight home, showering, going to getting the girls, bringing them home, feeding
Yep.
them, putting them to bed, bathing them, getting their
Yeah.
backpacks ready,
Oh
getting
my
this
God.
stuff ready, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, all the stuff he did. And I mean, it was nonstop. I don't think that man ever got much sleep.
Mhm.
And I think that
And
might be a reason why those rooms were locked was to keep her out of there. What I
right,
think.
to
Yep.
protect them.
Yep.
And get this, she was accusing Christopher Watts of sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Cindy said that she had never heard such a thing. He was never a sleepwalker.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
she told Cindy Watts that she found him standing over Cece's crib and he was sleepwalking. And Cindy never believed it, and neither did Christopher Watts.
Right. Did you
They
know
didn't.
about that, Mia? Yeah, that was something.
No, yeah. I never heard about that. No. You said, wait, sleepwalking?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that he was
Mm.
supposedly in there standing over their crib, just staring at them. Yeah, right.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Christopher Watt's wife had little to no access to the girls, and I think she was trying to make it look like she did have access to the girls.
Yeah.
those pictures that she took of those poor little babies with their faces covered while they were sleeping, I think she was trying to set the stage for those poor little babies to get smothered.
Well, and just like the doll, the picture of the doll with the blanket, everybody wanted to say he sent that. He did not. She sent those.
Yep.
I heard about that for 2 years. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm going to go ahead and bash a little bit more just for a second. Christopher
Yeah,
Watts, I think it's possible he didn't kill anyone.
Yep,
Mhm.
I'm with you.
So
Yeah,
like he can be the martyr if he wants. He told his mom he decided to take responsibility for
Take
what happened.
responsibility. Why would you
right.
say take responsibility? And why didn't
Well,
you say I did it and I'm going to take responsibility for what I did? He didn't say that. So
right,
No.
but do you notice what he does? Like everything he says is almost like he's lying
hinting at
about
something
the
different.
patient,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah,
And
like he
you
talks
know,
in
there's no
riddles.
blanket found in Cece's murder. And he's still saying it, and people don't catch it. It's like,
Mhm.
and Rourke said it a couple of times, even post sentencing. He doesn't know what was used, but no blankets or pillows. So when it's said, I think he's trying to tell people, look, you need to put this together. I'm not really confessing, it's a false confession.
Right. He wants the people who are actually paying attention to notice, I think,
Yeah.
because I actually think he's afraid, like for his parents or for his sister or whatever. Or maybe
Yeah.
he's being told by his sister to just follow along or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I think that the part that can really piss me off is, if he wants to throw himself under the bus, that's one thing. If he
Mhm.
wants to choose to harm his parents by not being truthful, by acting like the Riddler and Stipe,
Mhm.
then that's his problem, and shame on him because his
Mhm.
parents don't deserve not to not know the truth. If he wants to, whatever, I don't care. But there are a bunch of us who have been talking about this case, a bunch of us who have been attacked, a bunch of us who have been harmed, a
Yep.
bunch of us who have been traumatized, terrorized, whatever.
Mhm.
And he wants to sit there and buy Vaseline for his buddy.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Or like Justin would say, come on. Because he's not only harming the legacy or the memory or the whatever for his children, he's also harming other children who could actually be helped
Mhm.
if he would be totally open and honest about what occurred.
Yes.
Okay. Because then promoting awareness about whatever happened.
Mhm.
I do think he was exhausted.
Yes.
Keep in mind, too, he had to feed them in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
go up and wake them up and feed them. Make sure they
yeah.
Yeah.
eat something. Yeah.
So I think he was sleep deprived really bad. I think sleep deprivation is very dangerous.
It is.
And plus, he worked out in the hot sun all day long. Plus, if you're married to a
Yeah.
fruit, your life is just more stressful. That's going to burn more energy.
He had to
Just
cook. He did everything.
and
And
then you
also, I agree with Nurse Dee on here when she said another thing I've been thinking about. Remember the pool pictures? Now think the 16-year-old could calm her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was said. And for his mom said in some of her videos after this that her son was having a horrible time moving past this because it left some horrible scars and memories on him. What did she mean by that? What did she mean it left some horrible memories and scars? Why would it be horrible memories and scars on him? I just
right.
don't understand that unless
Yeah.
he's seen things, knows things, and did things he shouldn't have done.
Yep.
That's where I'm at on that. I'm really leaning toward that because he knew exactly where to go to look for the phone within 3 minutes. He knew how far
Right.
it was from their house out to Thurvey. He knew that.
Right.
He knew how to
Well,
calm her down. He knew what the sheets looked like. He knew the layout of the house. He knew a
yeah.
lot. Yeah,
Right.
a lot.
and they have the phone, and all she had to do was look at the pictures from June 20th. They knew which site. And Sandy said to them, "Oh, get the GPS information. It's on the truck." They were all incriminating Chris right from day one. I
Oh
know
yeah,
that. Yeah. So,
they were incriminating him and discrediting his mother from the
yep.
get-go. Yep,
Yeah.
sure was.
That's what they were doing.
And she told him she'd make him pay. And she said over her dead body, would they ever see the kids again? And look what happened. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad
Yeah,
but true. It's just
Yeah.
out there.
moving day theory fits everything.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
it does. And I think that's when they get upset.
Oh, yeah. They don't want us talking about that.
No.
They don't want us talking about Indiana either. Believe me, they don't
Yeah,
like
they
that
don't like
one
that,
bit.
do they? They don't like that at
No,
all.
they don't like that at all.
A total month full of her checking out at a hospital every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And most glaring, I think, was her going to a roller skating rink.
Yes. They didn't like that at all. Mm-mm.
I wonder if
No.
they, I don't know, had other little projects they did. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. Something weird about that. Yeah. Just is.
Oh.
And what better
No,
way to
here's a-
hide things about her mental condition too? To have her in for treatment out of state someplace. That'd be easy to hide that.
Yeah.
And a
They have to be
pregnancy, and a pregnancy, and for somebody that needed to move to Colorado ASAP for her health, how come he went almost a year before she did?
It wasn't a year. He went in January. She went in May.
Yeah, something like whenever. I mean, they talked about it prior to that, but
Yeah. If the doctor told her,
a year ago or something like that to move. Yeah,
no, not at all.
he wasn't
Nope.
a year. I thought it was
Nope.
supposed to be a year.
Not
They
at
told him
all.
to move.
Nope. It was sudden. In December,
Mm-hmm.
she was buying her textbooks for a nursing program that she
Okay.
was supposedly starting in
Yeah.
January. And so in December, she was buying her textbooks. I don't believe she ever was accepted in any nursing
Yeah.
program.
Me neither.
And the one she talked about wasn't even listed in that school's course catalog for that
Yeah.
year. But
Just different represents, yeah.
she said she's going to have her 4-year degree in 2 years. Yeah. I don't think she would have ever made it through A&P, ever.
No.
And so in December, she's in line to get her books.
Mhm.
In January, he was already out to Colorado ahead of her because her doctor told her suddenly that she had to move.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't believe at all that she was ever in any nursing program. I highly doubt it. She might have been in some sort of a remedial math or not even math. I think she might have been in one of those remedial English classes that they have people take if they haven't. I think it's like it's not for credit. I think the course number is usually 099
Mm-hmm.
for people who haven't been in school for a long while or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're, I think, remedial then. I think they'd be in the hundreds to get 3 credits over it. Like it's like English Comp 101. Everything else would be remedial.
Right. It could have just been like a 101.
Yeah.
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 But
It's strange.
yeah,
I don't know why though. I think it was remedial.
for that too. She didn't complete, she wanted to be a nurse like her friend.
She would have
like,
never, because at that point in time, it was very competitive for people, and
Yeah.
they had actually many schools
and so yes.
the GPA. She would have never had a 3.5 or a 4.0 in A&P.
No, they don't have enough instructors in associate degree programs. And she would have had it be a CNA first. She wasn't going to do that.
Well, she went to some kind of a CNA thing,
Oh,
and it was either 2 weeks, was it? It was in I don't know. And I think that's where she got the whole nurse routine going. I think it was a 2 week program for a CNA.
yeah. It's all right.
I highly doubt she ever worked as a CNA.
No. She'd have to get rid of those long
See,
nails.
that's a good point, Raj. That's a good point. I bet they were remedial classes because I bet she didn't even graduate from high school.
I don't think she did because the way it's reported in the newspapers, they just said she went there during, she was in high school during these years, but usually they'll say they graduated whatever year she's supposed to graduate. And she wasn't dumb, so there's one big reason she wouldn't graduate, either a mental illness or something happened. You know, a pregnancy, you know. She's not gonna just drop out of school. Her husband was, the guy she married was not her king. He was up going to college and working in the military.
Yeah, well, I could never find a high school diploma on her at all.
Like that would have been, she was in a cap and gown, it would have been all over everything, you know.
Well, one of the comments is we'll never know about the high school diploma.
Yeah.
Actually, the fact that we haven't seen photos of her graduating from high school, I think pretty much tell us, it like we've been told we'll never know the truth. Well, sometimes we can know the truth by what we don't know, right?
Yeah.
If she, I mean, remember, she's a successful businesswoman worth $1.5 million, right? So
Mhm.
obviously, if she graduated, we would see a photo.
Look what Mrs. Ben said.
You see?
Oh my goodness.
When all that nurse crap was going on and we discovered that she was never a nurse because that book was published saying she was a retired nurse, when all that was going on, there were scumbag attackers really insisting that it doesn't matter if you're really a nurse or not, you can still call yourself a nurse if you think you are.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No.
My grandmother was an RN. She was probably rolling over in her grave at crap like that.
Actually,
That's
Victoria,
not
I do believe she was probably pregnant in high school. I do believe that. I seen a
I
picture. It
just
looks like it's very possible. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It says, holy crap, fix your mics, Mensa. Yours is fine. The others are, wait, the other two are horrible.
Mine's horrible.
What mine is?
Can you hear Star Mama? Sweet crazy.
Yeah. Is it mine?
I have my,
What's illegal, Mrs. Bendover?
I have this really good mic attached.
Ham says the other two are horrible.
Okay,
It
so
says
it's
the
my
mics,
mic. Okay.
yeah, the mics are
Yours is
crackling.
good.
Oh, Miz is crackling. Okay.
Oh, is it?
Both of you? Okay.
That's
Well,
weird because I can hear you guys just fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear Miss and you fine. How about now?
You know what else adds to the moving day theory? Is that when Christopher Watts told his parents he was getting divorced, they offered to fly to Colorado to help. You're not going to offer to fly to Colorado for an open-ended 2-year battle. But if you know that she's getting moved out of there, you will offer to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because how do you offer to help for what? If you're knowing there's a divorce coming, what do you offer to help with? Hi, we'll go hang out for 6 months. Hi, we'll go help with what, right? But for them to offer directly to help, that they wanted to fly back with him and to be there to help, I think that they knew damn well that she was set to be moved out of there, and they offered to help for that time frame because you know what? I bet you they were probably kind of leery of just what kind of mood she'd be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Tanya said Mia is still crackly. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if there's anything I can do.
Can you hear?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, how about the other people? Because I was looking at my notes here. That I was going to bring up that do other people hear me?
Oh, it sounds a little. Yours sounds a little crackly now. Yeah, yours does.
No, it does.
Yeah, a little bit.
That sounds good, Mia. Sounds
Okay, I
weird.
lowered it.
Oh, now you sound better.
Okay, I lowered it.
That's better.
Robin says
Sometimes
I
I notice with
okay.
StreamYard.
Sounds better. Yeah, it's better.
That's
Okay,
better.
okay, I lowered it.
So then, if
Sometimes
they're to go help, then that means they know
Mhm.
more than they're telling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although they've
And
told
you
quite a
know, I'm sorry, Josh and Cassie, they were coming there that week. Were they going to help move? I think
That's a good
possibly.
point. That's a
Mhm.
good point. Maybe they were there to help too. Maybe it was their weekend rotation to take care of her.
Yeah, because they were moving in that week.
I think when her dad was there, I think he was
Mhm.
packing stuff up, and I think when she left to go to North Carolina, I think NA and CW were packing stuff up, and I think those two come in and were helping to finish it up. I really do.
Yeah.
And remember, NA got married when she was gone. I think NA's
Mhm.
job was pretty much over. I think
Yeah,
she worked as a supervisor, as a caregiver, or whatever word you want to call it. And I think that her job was over,
Mhm.
besides whatever little bit she did, like you say, Sarah Mama. I think she was part of the packing
yeah,
up.
yeah.
The fact that she had Christopher Watt's cell phone number,
And
and
Mhm.
that's her work number. Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
we're,
really.
well, we're
She.
told that she was just such close friends, right,
Oh
with
yeah.
his wife. Why would she have his phone number unless she was used to snapping her fingers and saying, "Oh my God, get home fast"?
Yeah.
Yeah, she could find his phone number faster than she could Shanann's.
Yep.
And remember, Mia found where actually uh, her mom had conversations with him while she was still in North Carolina. Why? Why was
Yeah.
she
Oh,
calling this many times?
5
Yeah.
phone calls in 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
something happened.
July 24th, like a week before he flew in.
Yeah, before he got there. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something happened.
Hmm.
Maybe she was hospitalized or something. Maybe it
Maybe.
was
Yeah.
that serious.
Yeah. And maybe they were talking about moving day when she gets back. She's not going to stop with this. We're trying to get her to stay here. She's not going to.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and Chris was worried. He said it's a Tammy. I heard him say it to somebody. He was very worried. It wasn't funny about the doll that was covered. And that's when he like just changed up he's her. And then she was all
You got off of Facebook.
I'm sorry.
Is that when he got off of Facebook after she did the doll picture?
Yep.
Yeah.
Closed down his Facebook.
I think his dad did too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think they both
Yeah,
did.
that's a good point. Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
But then he's like, he offered to go to counseling with her. And then he even offered on next Monday to reveal the gender of the baby.
I have a question though. Did we
Mhm.
ever see him actually offering counseling or offering anything about the gender reveal? Or was it just her telling her friends?
It's her telling her friends. I don't remember him saying anything about it, as far as I
Well,
know.
this the weirdest thing I did find. Cassie said it was, you know, he was on Facebook with Shanann
Yeah.
privately revealing the gender reveal. It was a gender reveal ceremony that they had, just Shanann and Chris.
Wow.
Yeah, that's under Cassie's interview, which is
Wow.
very strange.
That is strange.
Isn't it? So I'm thinking if it was that he didn't want NK to know anything about the baby, because that's supposed to be the narrative.
Mm.
He, he didn't kill her. She also said to him prior to Arizona, when she's like, well, you know, um, you'll never see the kids again. You
Yep.
know, she said that already. So he didn't kill her then. So why would he kill her then on the 13th?
Yes. I get you.
So
And
do any of you think it's really strange for somebody to want to have a gender reveal party when you haven't even been to the OBGYN?
That's really strange.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to tell them when the due date is and stuff? I mean, shit. Really?
Yeah. And do you think it's kind of strange to have a gender reveal party at that point in time?
Well, see,
Yeah.
they reveal, those ultrasound people,
Hmm.
they revealed the January 31st,
Yeah.
2019, based on the size of the baby. But
Yeah.
that's all, you
Mhm.
know. But it's not.
Sure that she was pregnant or no?
I don't know that she still was, honestly. Something is very odd with that.
Mhm. Mm.
I always get the feeling she wasn't gonna have it. That's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible she already lost it?
I already had one.
Yeah, or she made a reference if if I said if I gave Chrissy okay, he'd be fine with me getting an abortion.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she said something about getting an abortion, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's exact. Yeah, because he's just fine with just the two.
Hmm.
Yeah, didn't she say that she asked him if he wanted her to?
Yeah, and then she said to Addie Maloney, I'm sorry, like her name's like in Discovery, and all the bubble messages, and she says, and it's also typed out in the text message part too of the Discovery, that yeah, if it was up to him and I gave him the okay, he'd be fine if I got an abortion.
I don't know. Sweet crazy. I do know that they, in the autopsy, it said they did remove a fetus from the bag, but we
Yeah.
don't know how far along she was or anything. We have no proof of that.
No,
They
and
couldn't even determine the sex, so that's kind of strange.
well, and they didn't. Apparently, Sandy kind of gave that away. The defense wanted they needed to check to see was it even alive, was it viable at the time she was
Yeah.
still alive.
Hmm.
Because Sandy told Dr. Phil, remember?
Hmm.
She
And
said
you
she
guys realize it was 4.2 ounces.
Yeah, I know. Tissue.
4.2 ounces. I mean, all this hullabaloo that it was as big as an orange and all this stuff. I think an orange is a lot bigger than 4.2 ounces.
Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
I mean,
Very.
unless it's one of those cutie pie ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they couldn't even tell the sex. So, in the knot, they couldn't determine the sex of the fetus. So that's kind of odd too, because well, you want to go by, I don't know, the blood and stuff and certain things. I mean, with the autopsy on her, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. We've been over and over it. It's just a lot of covers ups and a lot of misconception. And I don't even know that. I mean, there's been different reports out there. I don't what's right and what's not. I mean, they couldn't find anything wrong with her, but at one gallstone and a prolapsed uterus, and the kids had nothing wrong with them. So, you got to stop and think at all the stuff, the narratives they put out about all her illnesses. Something would have showed up in her kidneys or liver,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
something, her lungs. I mean, heart, something, or organs. Surely.
Yeah. And her body with an autoimmune disease definitely would have been
Yeah.
attacked itself by now.
By the time any doctor would have ever diagnosed her with lupus, her body would have already shown something that they
Yeah.
would have found. And then you look at the time frame, by the time her body would have ever been diagnosed by any doctor with lupus, she
Mhm.
would have already had lupus for probably at least a few years and
Yeah.
maybe longer. They don't just
Mhm.
all of a sudden diagnose lupus.
Right.
That's the disease that they rule out everything else first. She
Yep.
would have been suffering. She would have been posting all over social media. She would have had all sorts of symptoms, and she would have been in every support group for every other, symptom
Mhm.
she ever had. And then
Yeah.
finally, would have posted that finally they figured out what was wrong.
Yep.
Lupus isn't because you had migraines supposedly when you were a teenager.
Mhm.
I think she was on disability from the time she was an early teenager. And I think that she was on disability for something far more serious than any kind of headache.
I think you're right about that. I do.
And I think that as she got into her 20s, that she maybe, or whoever was trying to control her money or whatever, I think they might have figured out that if they could go ahead and get another good disease going, then they might be able to get more money.
Mhm.
Very true. Good point. Seriously.
I would be very curious if the two children who were raised in Christopher Watt's in-laws' home, the mother's home, I would be very curious. They're her niece and nephew. I would be very curious if either one of those kids were on disability too.
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, I had migraines too when I started having them when I was like 17, and I quit having them when I went through menopause. Well, not menopause actually, but when I had a hysterectomy at 34. So, I mean, um, some
Yeah.
things I think are hormonal, but I think she had more. I think hers was more than migraines. I think she had mental issues, and it was a polite way of putting it that she had headaches. What I think.
Yep, I think so
Mm.
too.
Because her dad said that her mom took her to all kinds of doctors from the time she was 5 or 6 years old on until they found out she had migraines. Honest to God, you don't think with the medical technology they had then that they'd found out she had migraines, because
Yep,
they've known about migraines for years. I mean, I'm
exactly.
in my 71, and they knew back about migraines and migraine medicine, back in the 80s. So I just don't get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't
No.
believe it.
I think her
Yeah.
headache was listed as a nice term, that she was having headaches when she was having psychotic breakdowns.
But think about this. This is kind of going to sound way out there. Think about this.
Hmm.
If you wanted, let's just say you had a sexually active teenage daughter. Let's just say you wanted her to be on the pill. Let's just say maybe for not even good reasons.
Hmm.
So, what would you tell your husband? Oh, she has migraines.
Mm.
The doctor said we're going to put her on this pill. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If you had a sexually active, or maybe even, I don't know, was there a baby produced when she was a teenager? And if so, was there any payment made? I don't know.
No. Well, there would have been a lien placed on the house if there wasn't, you know.
Yeah, I think Kindness Cake is right. I think a lot of the information is sealed in those medical records. Just like I think a lot of information under the fingernails is sealed too. I think there's a lot of things that would explain a lot to us.
I do too.
You
But
can't
then,
get no, Mrs. Ben. You can't get disability from migraines, and I know of. You have to
No.
be having a
I bet
seizure
you can.
disorder or something. Can't
No,
just
I
get
Yeah.
bet.
from headaches.
No, I bet you can, you guys. I bet you
You
can.
think you
Yep,
can for migraines?
I bet you can.
I mean,
You
I
can.
looked up, like, it's, I mean, even when it came to lupus, you have to have, like, if you look under Social Security disability, under Social Security Administration, it's, I mean, you have to have qualifying symptoms, and it was quite severe, actually. The
Well,
I
I
symptoms.
didn't
think
see. I
so.
didn't see anything wrong with the way
Doctors is
she looked.
27.
I think it was
No,
all
doctors is
up in her head.
2017.
Yeah.
So, what doctor 2015, more than once, she would, you know, they would reject her claim, and they always do, and then she would be collecting off of Chris Watts's, I imagine, unless
But
she had it when she was
if
younger.
she'd been on it since she was a kid for mental problems, then
Well, she was
yeah,
working the,
working when? I don't know if she ever worked actually.
what about like the call center? Didn't she have to file like a W, what's it called, W-2?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm taking a look at the what's called the Blue Book.
Yeah.
It's on the Social Security Administration website, and we're going to take a look. Listing of impairments, childhood listings. Okay,
Hi, Bilby.
adult listings are Part A, childhood listings are Part B. So let's take a look here. Special senses and speech must really. I wonder if Bella was getting it for
Mhm.
speech.
Yeah. Wow.
Respiratory disorders. Okay, low birth weight and failure to thrive. Okay, let's see here. Mental disorders, immune system disorders. That would be that familial Mediterranean fever, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, she's covering all the bases, man. But let's look up
Hmm.
mental disorders.
Chicken flavored waffle set. Ah, but she was the saint. Remember? Yeah. Oh
Here's
man.
one. Here's a mental disorder that your child can get disability for. 112.07 somatic symptom and related disorders. Oh, you can get disability for your child if there's bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety and depression, personality and impulse control.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she was getting disability from the time she was a kid. I do.
Mm,
I'm going to look up somatic
Wow.
symptom and related disorders because if she's complaining that
but
she's sick and
yeah.
they can't find a doctor to tell them what's wrong, right?
Yeah.
That
Just
would
think,
fall
if
under.
she's complaining about her head hurting all the time, was there conversations going on up there that she couldn't block out that was making her really go crazy in her head? I mean, she couldn't deal with that, or was she? That kind of makes sense too, because you hear people talk about, they hear people talking and they hear things going on and they can't control it. That's mental illness, and that would make you think you had a headache, right? To me, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I don't know.
She could have gotten it easily for the somatic one. If she's going
Mhm.
doctor shop, if her mother was doctor shopping, okay.
Yeah.
If you look up the somatic one alone, not to mention schizophrenia or bipolar or any of that stuff,
Mhm.
But if you look up just the somatic one, there's anxiety. Let's see. Here's somatic 112.07. Okay. It says somatic symptom and related disorders, C 112.0086, it looks like, or B6, for children ages 3 to 18,
Wow.
satisfied by A and B. Medical documentation of one of the following. 1. Symptoms of altered voluntary motor or sensory function that are not better explained by another medical or mental disorder. Or 2. One or more somatic symptoms that are distressing with excessive thoughts, feelings, or behaviors related to the symptoms. Now, if that isn't vague, I don't know what is. And from this category also, extreme limitation of one of the following. 1. Understand, remember, or apply information. 2. Interact with others. 3. Concentrate, persist, or maintain pace. 4. Adapt or manage oneself. They could have easily said, gee, doctor, she doesn't want to go to school. She's laying around in bed all day and she won't do her laundry, you know? I think she was getting disability. I think that there was disability also being paid for Bella and Cece. And I think that when it became moving day, I think there were people who had their hands in the kitty. And I think that there were issues about who was going to have control over who and what. And I think that Christopher Watt's wife decided she was not going to let it happen. I think she saw her stage disappearing. And I think she decided it wasn't going to happen. I think she was going to punish Christopher Watts for actually being able to escape.
Yep. That makes sense too. It does. It's
Which
wrong with it.
I think Christopher Watts, I think Cindy Watts, I think Ronnie Watts, I think every
Mhm.
family member should step up to the plate and tell what they know.
Yeah, and what better way to make him pay than to take his children away from him, right?
Yep,
Mm.
to punish them.
To punish him. Yeah.
And I do think she
Yeah.
was abusive toward him. I think she was abusive toward both children. I think she was abusive toward her mother-in-law too. And I do think that we all know the most dangerous moment of any abusive relationship is when the abuser realizes they're about to lose total control. I think she definitely realized she was about to lose total control.
Right. Well, like I said, you got to look at what the facts are. You got to look at her videos. You got to look at what she said. You got to look at people's um, testimonies or interviews. You got to look at everything that went down, and then you got to put some common sense with it. And usually, you can come out with something that really makes a lot of sense.
And here's
That's
something
hard
else.
to dispute.
When there's an abuser, which I think she definitely was, when
Mhm.
there's an abuser, when they start to lose that control, oftentimes abusers will use the court system, the police, whoever, in order to try to somehow get back at the person that they just are losing total power and control over. Okay.
Exactly. Mhm.
It's oftentimes called ambient abuse, where they'll abuse literally the court system and law enforcement,
Mhm.
the systems, in order to try to basically punish the person who they're losing total control. But they can try to have some sense of control if they can be using those agencies to try to mess with the person who is escaping their total power and control. Well, in this case, Christopher Watt's wife would have known damn well that she would not have been able to have used the court system, because the case, according to the family member at the time, right after the tragedy occurred, the case, hearing was scheduled for shortly after the tragedy occurred for, quote, an ongoing family matter. So, what on earth was she thinking that morning when she realized she didn't have a chance at trying to keep her stage? Her stage was gone.
Yes.
Her whole world was gone. Actually, she had losing her home, her spouse, her children, her car, her career that she put out there to everybody she had. What did she have left? Her source of
Exactly.
income from him? Nothing. There's nothing left. She'd already destroyed everything again. 2 years after
Exactly.
she'd already destroyed it once. I mean, gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once she lost her children, all of her stories of being some kind of superhero
Yeah.
would be absolutely lost.
Right.
I agree with this. Spacebound said that poor little Bella and Cece didn't even get to live.
They didn't.
No,
She was
that's
abusing them from the
insane.
time they were born with that baby wise crap and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, to say that a 2 month old doesn't need to be fed at night, through the night, really? Okay.
Who said that?
She did. SW did. She said she didn't feel it was
Mhm.
necessary to get up when a baby was 2 months old to give them a bottle at night, that they were old enough they didn't need to eat through the night. Hmm.
And you know what? She probably didn't even know if the kids ever did eat through the night.
Oh, well, remember, she breastfed them. Didn't believe that shit.
I don't believe that for a second.
I don't either.
Yes.
She was sitting in that hospital bed when Cindy was there with Bella to bring Bella to meet little Cece.
Hmm.
Christopher Watt's wife was sitting there in that hospital bed wearing a bra.
Yep.
There's no way, if you just had a baby that you're breastfeeding, that you're going to be wearing a bra.
Oh,
Nuh-uh.
yeah. She had her makeup all done, her hair fixed, and everything. And she
Yep,
looked like, yeah.
yep. I don't believe it for a second that she breastfed.
Hmm.
No, I don't
And
either.
I remember her complaining about she had one of her breast implants were leaking too. I remember that.
Yeah, that was on the long list of health challenges. I wonder if that caused any added
And I can already
sex.
tell you, she wasn't the type to breastfeed because in her makeup tutorial, Cece wasn't even walking, and she was complaining about kept giving Cece back an empty sippy cup and kept saying,
Oh,
"Burn her
jeez.
milk, burn her milk." Really? Okay.
I
Not
wasn't
even
expecting.
walking. Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the video of her starting to say that she had 3 kids?
Yeah.
And then she
Oh,
corrected.
yeah, I
I have
think I
I
did.
have 3 kiddos. I have 3 kiddos. Yeah.
Yeah, what? That was weird. Yeah.
And then in another one, she said she had 2 kids under 3,
Yeah.
and she didn't. At that time, Bella was 4.
Yeah. This whole
Wow.
case is weird.
It is.
And, I found, they were incriminating Chris Watts right from the beginning.
Yep.
Like, and I went through the notes. Like, okay, Nate was, but he's in with the R's. They got to know him over the 18 months, whatever, whenever they lived there. They both said that she didn't have diabetes. She didn't have diabetes. Nicholas was also incriminating Chris Watson as soon as Officer Coonrod arrived.
Mhm.
Um, Cassie was. Now, Cassie and Josh stayed there in May during, May would be Memorial Day weekend.
Cassie and Josh stayed in the house in May of 2018.
Yeah, I was actually shocked. Yes,
Wow, I didn't know
Was
that.
I
was
know.
was Cassie a nurse's aide?
Yeah, Cassie was actually a nurse. I don't know if she was an
Nurse.
LPN.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
Mhm.
They stayed there the month of May.
Well, they stayed for a few days in May. Because,
So think
yeah,
about that picture from April, whatever it was.
Mhm.
The picture of her being pregnant.
yes.
Was it early May? Do you know?
It was towards the end.
Towards the
Because,
end?
yes,
Wow.
because it was because Memorial Day weekend. It went
Okay.
into because they didn't notice Chris Watts backing his truck into the driveway. Well, I looked at that. I was like, wait a minute, that's Memorial Day weekend. So he's not really going to be backing his truck up.
Right.
He's not working.
So if Cassie and her husband were staying there in May,
Yeah.
I bet you she had a baby.
Mhm.
Oh, well. Yeah, I never even thought about that.
And remember this too.
Oh, jeez.
There's that delusions of whatever when you're pregnant, or when you, what was it, of schizophrenia? There's some kind of delusional whatever about thinking you're pregnant that your belly can even grow.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I forget what it's called. It's a really weird name.
Yeah, delusion of something. What was it? Something like Persephone, but it wasn't Persephone at all.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah, it's a weird name. And usually I can break them down with one.
something like aosis or a.
Well, and those kids, she said she didn't rock them or hold them hardly at all. So how are you going to nurse them? You have
Oh,
to rock them and hold them
bet
and
she
be.
didn't
You have to
rock
have
them. Yeah,
contact. Cuddle them. They like to be cuddled when they're nursed.
I
I
bet
mean,
she
really?
didn't. I bet she didn't, because I bet they didn't risk the safety of the baby.
Oh yeah, they couldn't trust her.
No.
Shit, can you imagine? She'd be pinching them or asking them if they want a haircut or something.
Yeah, really.
About that serious, I'm saying. It just is.
Yeah, so, the only one, like Lauren Arnold, did not know about this. She wasn't included. Sandy was also, okay, this is how she was incriminating right away, too, by saying about the truck. I have it here right in the notes. Page 5 of the discovery. She has some other, call during this time, and this is right in the beginning of the discovery, and was adamant that Christopher had done something, and that I needed Officer Coonrod um, section discovery.
What's that? Pseudocyesis or something, or pseudocyesis?
That false, yeah, false. Right. Usually, I know pseudo. I don't know. That just doesn't. I can't figure out the alignment with that word. Why it's like a.
Oh,
So,
Mia, you're crackling again.
oh, am I?
I don't know. I don't hear it, but Mrs. Bendover says you are.
Okay, what now?
I don't know. Mrs. Bendover, is Mia still crackling?
All right, so
It says, yep, Mia Mike.
I'm gonna try again.
Wendy
It's
says,
really on.
that's weird shit right there. Not rocking or walking newborn baby to help soothe it to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no, Star Mama's gone again. Ah,
Okay.
Star Mama off the ledge
Jeez.
here.
All right. How about now? I replugged it. Plugged it.
Yeah, and I can tell you're crackling, Mia.
Still weird.
Well, what do you think, you guys? We're looking at 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Unchained Melody. Star Mama, get your bum up here. They want to hear you. There you are. Good, 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 good. Okay.
I was going to talk about, I started saying for all these num-nums out there that don't think she ever cut her hair, there's pictures up all over the place where she did. Because I have people still saying, there's no pictures of her ever cutting Bella's hair. Yeah, there is. All kinds of them.
Am I
Exactly.
crackling?
I don't get it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's crackling a little bit, Mia.
I don't know if it's from my phone down.
Yeah, she is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we can ask Dave to hop up here and help us with that techno stuff. That'd be nice.
It's not. He can't help us anymore. Like,
Well, that'd be nice if we could still keep a good techno relationship going.
I don't know.
I don't
And
think
then
that's
we
going
can
to
hear the
happen
rest.
now. We probably
He
blew
helped.
that.
He helped me share screen, and I haven't been able to figure.
Here's what I know. I can show you that. It's really easy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, seriously. Let me get back there. Can you hear me now?
It's really
Oh, it's
crackly.
crackling.
I'm gonna have to. I dropped my mic. I think that's what happened. No, I can unplug it. I don't need it. All right. I don't have a mic.
Yeah, it's crackly, hon.
Yeah, that's weird because I don't even have a mic on.
Yeah. I think if you listen after we click off, if you listen to just the last couple minutes, I
Yeah,
think you'll be able to hear kind of, or maybe it'll come through loud and clear. I don't know.
it's really weird because I don't know why. Because now I don't even have the mic attached.
Yeah, and your voice sounds faster too.
Well, see,
It kind of goes like da 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 da.
I heard that with you earlier in the beginning.
Sweet Crazy says take your earbuds out. I don't know why.
I don't have any. I'm on the laptop.
Oh, maybe it's StreamYard acting up. I don't know.
That's
It could be. Yeah, that's why I say we hope that Dave will remain our friends for techno.
I don't think so.
Everything else,
No,
everything.
I know as much as she knows about techno, actually.
Okay then. Okay then, Dave doesn't stand a chance because you know what? We kept inviting him up here.
No, I mean, if he has a better computer, I mean, he's going to have ways of doing things.
Yeah.
I can't, but I do a lot of editing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, there actually was a report about at one time about on an autopsy about them referring to Bella as male, but I haven't seen that for a while. But I do remember it a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I've never heard of that about that on the autopsy. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
no, I never did either about Bella.
I heard
Yeah.
about it a long time ago. It was questionable about said a male or something, but I don't know if that was just somebody
Oh, I know.
putting that in there
Yeah,
that someone put something out there that's false information or not.
yeah, I mean, that was, I mean,
They
read the autopsy.
falsify shit all the time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But, you know, that 148, I have so many other ways to prove that, you know, I don't know if Cheyenne was there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no proof because we don't know, but we don't see the boarding pass. And even if you do, in the USA, they don't ask for your ID.
Yeah.
They flew way too much. You just don't know when you get to the gate, you know. So I don't know if they should take an earlier flight.
Well, back
I don't know.
back when she was flying a lot too, things weren't as hard as they are now. You know, things have changed since COVID and things. They've changed on a lot of their requirements and showing ID and all that stuff.
Hey,
Same here.
Chicken Flavored Waffle said the scary thing is the world is full of SWs, and that is scary.
That is very scary.
Oh, does chicken flavored waffle want to come up? She said, I'm not Checo, but I will talk.
Oh, okay.
Cool. But the sharing the screen, as long as StreamYard's working good, working well, it's really easy on here.
Well, I know every time we go live, it seems like it either freezes or we can't. It gets staticky.
Yeah, StreamYard's been really not the best anymore.
Yeah.
You just hit the share button and then hit Chrome because you have a choice of like hitting Chrome, Windows, and if you're The third thing is
Mm.
the third thing. You'll see your
I
doesn't.
don't hear you very well, Mia. It's really crackly.
Oh man.
I don't know if if in chat, can you hear Mia really well, Star Mama?
Just at times it acts up.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and I
It
think
was
your
really
voice,
good when she turned her mic down there for a little bit. When she lowered it,
yeah.
it sounded good, but now it's crackly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
it
somebody
says,
come in.
okay, for whatever the name was, the waffle, chicken for waffle one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't want this name on there, I don't think.
How about now?
And your thing says devices not connected.
What? Say
So
something to me, and I'll tell you if you sound okay. Say something to me, and I can tell you if you sound okay.
Okay, I put it back in.
No.
Victoria says Mia maybe go out and back in.
Yeah, go out and come back in. Maybe that'll help.
Okay.
It might.
Because it is the computer. And so streaming it's getting weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
sounds faster. It's almost like kind of like speed talk.
Oh God.
I don't mean speed. I mean just like fast. That's all. Okay, good. Now she's ready. Here we go. Hello, Tammy. True crime discussion.
Hello.
How are
How
you?
are you?
Are you the chicken flavored waffle?
Am I the what, sorry?
Are you the chicken flavored waffle?
Don't think so.
Did you say I don't think so or I think so?
I said I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, somebody else come in. Okay.
Yeah, chicken flavored waffle was trying to come up.
Oh no, that definitely wasn't me. I always come up here as Tammy.
Okay. So how are you doing, Tammy?
I'm not too bad. I just thought I'd, come up here and say g'day to you ladies and see how everybody is and how everyone's enjoying their lovely weekend.
So far.
Mia disappeared. Mia, come back.
I
No,
think
she'll
No,
be back. She's trying to go out and come back in. Her mic was
yeah,
messed
she
up.
was starting a bit crackly there, so.
Here she
There
is.
she
Hey,
is.
Mia.
Hey, Mia.
Hey, am I back?
That you're
Yes.
better. That's good.
I was good. Hey,
Yes, you're good.
Tammy has the luck. All right.
How are you, Mia? It's good to see
Okay.
you be a guest.
Yes,
Oh, no, I just wanted to come up here and say you're doing a great job and tune in and see if there's any input I can give at all towards anything.
Okay, what do you
Oh,
think?
chicken is backstage, and guess what? Paula,
Wow.
guess what?
What?
It's the ceiling fan.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was a shocker, though. Okay.
It's the ceiling fan. Chicken lady, will you put the
Oh
put
no.
put an avatar up?
Yeah, we can't handle the fan spinning.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch the fan.
No. Not unless we want to be try and self-hypnotize.
Yeah, no thanks. I have enough problems without looking at a fan, believe me.
I know my doctor is he's
Then if I try to tell a doctor that at 71 years old, they could say, "Oh, you really seen a fan going?" Oh, okay.
So isn't that the one that was complaining about being banned or blacked or something?
There was something with that one. I can't remember what exactly.
I can't remember either. But if they were banned or blacked, then how could they come up, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I might not recognize your faces all the time, you guys, but I can recognize a crappy ceiling fan.
Or a voice. I know their voices. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that too.
It's getting good.
I got bombed last night because of my scar tissue on my eyes. I can't see chat and people on panel clearly. So
Oh,
someone came up and I was having like an open discussion and they showed porn. I'm like, yeah,
oh my
see you,
God.
see you later. Had to stop the live, start again. And it's like,
See, that's what they do.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit like that.
it's
Mhm.
like,
It must
get
have
a
been,
life.
you must have been talking about something interesting, Tammy.
No,
Because
that's just it. Because I wasn't. I was pretty much just talking about, everyday things and just left my panel open for discussion. I should have stopped doing that or stop dropping the stream into chat so randoms can come up and do that crap. But I have a
yeah,
feeling I know who's behind it. So
I have
Yeah.
a question. Are you more true crime or are you more drama?
I don't give in to the drama. I stay away from drama. I choose to. I
She's
talk a
very
lot, Chris
She's
Watts, but I
strictly
go
true
on
crime.
panels.
She's with Mia. She's over there on her channel a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
absolutely adore Mia. Mia
Oh,
is one of the
good.
few people that
Okay.
I adore.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't.
She's very
I
sweet.
don't go around too much to other ones, so I'm not that on top of it.
I thought she had some interesting finds, and
Mhm.
the way her brain works. Just, well, how do you know that it's Chris in the truck? No, we don't know. I mean, it was. I thought it was always brilliant.
Yeah. Cool.
Because
Very cool. I love your accent. Are you from the
I
UK?
wonderful. Great job.
sorry,
Are you
am
from
I
the
from?
UK?
No, I'm from. You're the second person who's asked me that this week. No, I'm from Australia.
Okay,
I
so
thought you were.
Get out, Aussie. But no, like I pointed out to, I'm glad Mia's here because now, because when I say I mentioned this on Mia's channel, I feel like I don't want to dox her by saying I said it on Mia's channel, but she's here now, so she can hear me say it. I said to Mia about how the doorbell camera footage is so wrong because you see it when the day they did the welfare check. Chris stands at the bottom of the stairs of the veranda and says, "This is where the doorbell camera picks up from." But when Shanann's coming home that morning, she's further back, and the doorbell camera supposedly picked her up from there. So,
Mhm.
well, that's a really good point. And I want to say something to the people who haven't been here for 4 years. Before they released that doorbell cam, whatever,
Yeah.
there were already many months that went by. Discovery was already released, and nothing was released in the Discovery about any front doorbell, whatever.
I think it was 3, 4 months later before that come out, wasn't it?
It was after the Discovery for
Yeah.
sure. And people who were talking about it were saying, why don't we see any front door camera, whatever? And it was people in the true crime community who were saying, yeah, right, okay, whatever. Because there were already in 2018, there were already a lot of people who were going, something stinks about this story.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
And then they magically came up with the front door cam, and it was so far past when they released so much other stuff that that alone was suspicious for all of us in the true crime community because we're like, why did it take them so long? And why didn't they release it until we started asking for it? Okay, here we go.
Exactly.
Here we have chicken.
Okay, so
Hey,
now I've got the
chicken.
avatar on there. Finally, I figured out how to get the avatar on.
Okay, how are you, chicken?
Oh my gosh, you guys are just incredible. Every time I listen to you guys, I don't listen to you guys often anymore because I've been working so much. I'm an RN, by the way. But it's almost like I get so frustrated when I hear all these things come up about her mothering, just everything. It's just like these red flags. Even when I tell you, when I started investigating this case, I remember watching the beginning FaceTime she would put up on her Facebook. I would be like, what the heck? There's something wrong with her.
Yeah, there's something off. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember searching for like-minded people. That's what I told Mia also. Like I remember thinking, am I being harsh? Am I being too bad? Or
No, you're not being harsh at all. You're being a
right,
true
right,
crime.
right.
And here's something Nurse Dee Dee said, and it's about the front door cam. It was released to show, or to try to show, but we didn't believe it, that she was not drunk. supposedly.
Yeah.
But you
And
know what?
that's
She
what
was
was going on in the discussion. We were discussing going, okay, how drunk was she? How much was she drinking? Why isn't there any airport, video, whatever? And then we started going like, why, that the house is wired, man, wired. So why don't we see any front
You
door
know
cam?
what? You know what, Miss Mensa? Because she was smarter than all of us. She was sharp as a tack. She may have been mentally ill, but she was smart as a tack. She knew every step she took. She knew how to manipulate the system. I'm telling you. She
Yeah,
knew. She
no,
knew
I
everything
agree.
she did. And you know what? I have no shame in saying that because I I've been posting for a while now, and for a while, I kept thinking, you know what? Don't post it because you hear stuff about them going after you. I've had some of them come after me on my channel because on my channel I have videos up, and I've got
Mm,
hatred from random people that I never had before. So I'm sure it's the shiners. But you know what? She knew exactly what she was doing. She
Yeah.
knew exactly. She may have been mentally not all there, but she was sharp as a tack. She knew how to manipulate everything.
She
she
knew
was
right
I
a
from wrong.
con
She knew
let me
right
That's
from
what
tell
I'm
wrong.
you.
saying.
Let me tell you. I know. She manipulated him with his money. I was married to a person like this. You know? I was married to a person like this. Like I can't even begin to tell you the frustration I get sometimes from watching some of these videos. How she would put him down with the guise of humor, putting him down
Yeah,
with the guise of humor at the expense of him.
yeah.
Always that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the bankruptcy paperwork, when I was looking at all the bankruptcy paperwork, like who's going to take you to bankruptcy in what 5 years twice? Please. Who was in charge of all the finances? It was her. He couldn't even get into his bank account. You know,
Right.
he
Hold
couldn't
on.
even.
They didn't file a bankruptcy twice in 5 years.
No, or one time, and then he was close to doing it again. I mean, I obviously he didn't do it again because the tragedy happened, but they were well on their way to the second one.
Well, they want to.
2.5 years later.
Yeah, it's like just I think what bothers me the most of everything
Mm-hmm.
is the medical abuse with those children.
Oh,
The medical abuse with those two little girls really bothers me. You know,
right.
just taking them compulsively to doctors, taking them to for they've got this, they've got that, swaying physicians to I really think she's got this, I really think she's got that, can we do this, can we do that? Doctors can be swayed very easily. They give up. They don't want to spend more than a couple of minutes with you in that examining room. If you're a very assertive person, you can get a doctor to do a lot of things. I'm a nurse, I know. And Mia, you're a nurse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor will give up and they'll say, you know what, okay, fine, let's give him this test, let's
Yeah,
give him that test.
yeah, my pain specialist would be on to her though. But yeah,
It's just
doctors,
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm shocked.
I would cringe
Yeah.
every time I took my kids to their vaccination schedules, just their vac.
Mia, do you know this person?
Um. Yeah, I think what's your name?
Chicken something or other.
Yeah, is
Chicken
it the
lady.
last? No, the Lucifer. They got
Yeah,
the long name.
yeah.
Yeah, no, she's cool.
Okay.
I'm not, believe me, I'm not on any.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
sometimes I.
She came in like I totally. It was such an appropriate time. Well, hello there, Lucifer. I mean, um, this
Just
was like the
the
perfect
things
time.
all the red flags I saw, all the red flags. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, and that really, because when I started watching and observing the different things about this case, I was like neutral. Like, cause my first thought was, okay, well, what led to this? But as I started investigating, then I realized, oh my gosh, this man is like flipping out. He's like an emotionally abused spouse. This guy is like, and then the more I investigated and the more I got into the channels and I started finding like minded people who thought like I did, because at first I couldn't find anybody who can. I thought for a long time I was the only one who thought this way. Like, you know, are you the only one seeing this? Are you the only one like thinking, okay,
When did
well,
you
maybe
start? When did
he
you
had a
start?
reason to flip out.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it was like in the beginning, it was very boring. Everybody was like, they put Shanann on a pedestal, and the narrative was, you know, Chris is this covert narcissist. And that's about it.
Well, if you had Facebook groups, Facebook discussion groups, actually there were a lot of people on Facebook who were saying something's wrong with this picture. We think
Yes.
we think she did it, and that was right at the start. And I don't mean
Yes.
right at the start, but that was
Yeah, I
before
wasn't
it was
on that.
discovered.
I believe that he didn't kill the girls. There's a big, you know, like you guys have always said, there's a big secret here that we don't know about. They're all covering. My thing is, okay, let's go with the premise that the R's know that he didn't do it. Well, why set up this whole facade like on the day that I don't remember what day that was because I don't know that detail, but they all attack him and when he was being sentenced, or I think when they were talking, and they were
Mhm.
talking about if they knew that he didn't do it, why put up this whole facade of like, oh, you did it, and we know you didn't. You carried out in the trash bag when they or you did this or you did that. Like, why? When you guys know what really happened. How,
Maybe they're trying to keep Shanann's status in the community like a good, pure person. And it's easier to blame Chris because he's alive to take the rap.
I'm
Maybe.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry to say this, but I don't trust this person. Um, I just don't. Maybe I will next week. Maybe I will a month from now, but I don't trust her right now. Um, for a few reasons, and the third one just happened. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm just tired. Um, so I would say this to wrap it up about the front door thing.
Yep.
Nurse Dee Dee was exactly right that
Mhm.
big issue was that BAC level. I think it was
Yeah,
0.0128. And we were told, oh, that was from decomposition. And, I'm sorry, but when I dug into that one research study, that was a very high number if it was from decomposition, which there was like a 1 in 5 chance that it could have been.
yeah.
And if so, it would have been half or less than half of
Right. It's like point
the,
zero 0.04, I heard. Like, they,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. So if that's the case, that people then in the discussion groups and on the channels were saying, yeah, right, she was schnockered, then all of a sudden, poof, after the discovery, they finally produced some little video that shows her walk. No. And didn't they say that NA pulled in the driveway? Or how did that
Yeah.
work?
They tried to hide it, but it's in the plain text part.
Yep.
At 2:01, Vivint actually captured Utah backing out of the driveway, followed by a group text to Cassie and to Shanann, "We're home," at 2:01 a.m. And that's a timeline transaction. So she had to make that call at 2:01, and Vivint captures her. So that is real. They wanted to hide that for some reason, that she backed out. I guess because 148 is not going to agree with them. If 148, Nate catches that car, dropping her off and leaving, well, why is she back at 2:01? It would
Right.
make no sense.
Right. So how does that make any sense?
Right. And now the router doesn't capture her. 148, the timeline transaction on Shanann's phone, had she walked in that door, she would have also had a timeline transaction on her phone. She doesn't.
Interesting.
And, you know, I know that other creator, Dave, and I'm not, we don't always agree on everything, and it's okay. Um, Yes, it looked brighter, but that wasn't the only thing. There was also, well, even Tammy made a good point where she was standing. Chris said illustrated recording, that was a great find, and Tammy well said, at the
Thank
bottom
you.
of the steps. Well, it captures her further back. So that would be wrong. That's a fallacy there.
Right. I do think that she probably could hold a .128 pretty well. I do, because like I think some people can. I think if they're drinkers, right? If they
Yes.
have been drinking for a long time and a lot for a long time, then I
Yeah,
think
it's not real
128,
high.
yeah, that's probably her antifreeze level, you know.
Yeah, it said she weighed 144 pounds. I think she was more than that.
I think so too.
Especially being pregnant.
She's more than that too.
Yeah.
And no
There's
scars,
yes,
right? No scars at all. No tattoos, no scars, no piercings.
piercings, the nasal, the nares. There's that white. I didn't even know she had that white.
But didn't she have a nose piercing and two ear
Yeah,
piercings? You know, and
yeah,
she had a scar on her forehead.
yeah. And he said no, no. There weren't any. There weren't any scars. I think.
So wouldn't you have had a scar from when she had her neck surgery?
You would think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What's weird? It. Chris didn't notice it when they called him. I know it was like 2 in the morning on. I guess it would be actually Tuesday morning at 2 a.m. It's a weird time to call him.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
But even
I think who
Paul.
made the beds? Who made the girls' beds? Because I know
Oh,
one day.
I got something that'll blow you away, Miss Metz. I think a lot of people don't know this, and I don't think Star Mama knew about this finding. Um, okay, Coonrod. This is right in the beginning, page 5.
Yeah.
This is what he said. He has. There was. Okay, let me. I wrote it down here.
Uh-oh. You're
Crackling
staticky again,
again.
Mia.
Oh, am I? Damn! Every time I'm trying to do this. Yeah. He found. He said the fitted sheet was on the floor next to the comforter. How many fitted sheets do you have?
The sheet. Yeah.
That's on page 5 of this.
Can you guys hear me? Or no? Is
I
it
can
just
barely
me?
hear her. She's saying the fitted sheet was on the floor beside the comforter. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Per Officer Coonrod.
For Officer Coonrod. Okay.
Now, the fitted sheet, if it was on the floor, how the hell did it get over to Servy? Was there a different fitted sheet?
Yeah.
That would make no sense.
But I do remember CW saying that the sheets were all alike in color and design because that's what she liked to use. So there may have been just different size sheets. I don't know how many sets of sheets she had for the beds, you know? I don't know. Could they have been identical? Could there have been two sets? We don't know that.
Do you guys really think she was sleeping up there?
Huh?
Do you guys really think she was sleeping up there?
I don't know. I don't think not no, not for long, but I do think I think she was aware of I think she picked out some of the designs on stuff. I think she fantasized about a lot of shit, what I think
Yeah.
myself. Yeah, I do.
Do you think Chris had a voice in that marriage?
No, not much.
Because he
No.
did say at one point he wasn't even allowed to hang a picture.
Yes.
Well, I think it's because pictures are sharp.
Hmm.
They have frames
Picture frames. Yeah, that's what
and
MM
glass.
thinks. That you can bust glass and hurt somebody, right? Yeah.
Yep. I
Mhm.
agree with Nurse Dee Dee. Nurse Dee Dee says, "Ladies, it's been a great live, but I must head to bed. I will listen to the rest later. Thank you for letting me get stuff out that has been on my mind." Nurse Dee Dee, I would say hold on just a second because I'm tired too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really glad that you guys hopped right up. I'm glad that we had a really good discussion. And welcome True Crime Discussion with Tammy. And
Thank you.
welcome also to the chicken flavored waffle. Don't take it personal. I just have like a low threshold for whatever. So come on back another day and maybe I'll think you're just wonderful. But when you mispronounced a couple of words, I thought, I don't know if people use words that they mispronounce. I don't know, unless they're reading them. So I just kind of went ding, 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 and said, yeah, not tonight. So don't take it personal. This is YouTube. Don't take it personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much for letting me pop up. I appreciate it.
Well,
Yes,
thanks
and
for coming.
feel free to pop up again, and we're gonna
I will
play.
do.
And thank you, Star Mama. Thank you, Mia. And I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah.
and play the Righteous Brothers
Yeah. We'll have to
Unchained
take this up
Melody.
later. The rest of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
we'll keep it going. But man, I've got to get my beauty sleep.
I know. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Good night,
Night,
guys.
everybody.
And everyone, I
Bye.
want you to be
Bye-bye,
safe
guys.
and be healthy and be happy. Don't forget to take your vitamin D. And I want each and every one of you to always know that you are loved. So here's a commercial here. Let's see here. I'll turn the volume off for the commercial. And then we'll have a little bit of music from 1960 something. And here we go. Good night, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Righteous Brothers. I know you've been asked this maybe 1,000 times, but I've got to ask it. How did you get the name Righteous Brothers?
The skinny one. And all we came up was what we had. So we worked in a club down south, and after
We started singing together. We needed. Oh, you know what? I was going to say. How come? We usually do when he's singing. Lonely time can do so much for you. Still your love. I need your love. God speed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Time